Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
If you really want to be one of the best brewers there is,
I stopped dressing all in plastic.
You better be brewing 5 to 6 times a week.
Every beer is made with love, and it begs to be appreciated.
I need something to kill the salmonella I'm kind of worried about in the eggs.
Do you find that that the hops kind of clash with the chicken embryo you put in there?
I might sleep here tonight.
It's a California king. There's plenty of room for both of us, Beavis.
How many of the brewers over there have seen your ass?
That's it. Someone's getting cut tonight.
All I have to say is, hey, McDowell, how you doing?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
All right. Hey, hello, everybody. My name's Justin Crosley. I'm your host, and this is The Session. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm happy to see you guys.
Really?
I don't know why, but...
Huh.
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
I must not be. Yeah, your faces look nice to me today.
Oh, wow. Well, you do have glasses on. Maybe this is the way we've always looked.
You're getting used to your glasses now.
Yeah.
Right. This is the way we've always looked, bro.
Yeah, I guess that could be it. I am getting a little used to it. I got feedback last week. Stop talking about glasses, for fuck's sake.
Oh, my God. The one time we've talked about glasses at any great length.
Well, it's always the same thing. And all I thought was, like, how old is this friggin' show that people haven't figured out yet that I'm going to babble on about our lives in the first 30 minutes.
Right.
It's just going to happen. Go tune into something else.
Right.
If you know, I don't know what to say about it anymore. I really don't. Like, it's been, how many years, are we about to have our 13th or 14th?
I think 13.
I think it's lucky number 13.
Lucky 13.
BNA 13.
Yeah, we skipped 12 because we're stupid, and we're sticking with lucky 13.
Happens.
But yeah, I mean, it's a long enough time to know. I guess maybe it's new listeners who tune in, but if you're new, maybe I should just write at the beginning of every show description,
yes.
like, feel free to skip ahead 30 minutes.
Yeah, maybe you should timestamp it when we actually talk.
Announcements, but yeah, I mean,
that should be part of the pre-roll.
Yeah, I've said before, if we can't, talk about ourselves and have a good time, then at least I'm going to quit. I assume we might all quit. It's just part of what gets us through.
Yeah, it's boring for us to sit here and just go. Okay, well, first of all, no one here brews anymore, so we don't talk about homebrewing. Yeah. So the first part, homebrewing. Okay. The first part is then it's like, okay, so we get on the show, turn the light on. All right, so here's our guest, and it's like, whoa, where's the I don't say the foreplay because now it's very sexist to say that.
You gotta warm it up.
I agree. Although a lot of podcast formats are like that, like they just go straight to their guests. That's just not it's not us. It's never going to be.
I like to think of us as not a podcast. We're a radio show that is recorded and you can listen to it.
Right.
And I enjoy getting to see what my life is going to be like in 10 years. So I get to hear about that for half an hour each week.
Right.
And
stuff like
10
that.
years?
We are educating in more ways than one, if you think about it that way. Yeah. So, I don't know. Just deal with it, I guess. That's all I have to say to you. Hey, today's show is brought to you by More Beer. God, do I love those guys over at More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com and check them out. And for years, they've been leading the charge when it comes to cool and unique homebrewing equipment, like the Robo Brew, the easiest way to brew all grain. It's made from stainless steel, and the Robo Brew allows you to make 9 gallons of beer all in one vessel, from boil to mash to cooling. The Robo Brew is truly self-contained. So if you're thinking about getting to all grain brewing, you should seriously consider the Robo Brew. Or up your fermentation game with the all-new Fermentosaurus plastic conical. Has a 9-gallon capacity, a stainless steel stand, a sturdy butterfly dump valve at the bottom, and the best part is it'll hold up to 35 psi. So check it out all over at morebeer.com. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl halftime show?
Oh, my God. Nope. That was a wreck, dude.
Sure did. I love me some Justin, and that was not good.
No, it was not.
Oh, I more dick, more box.
This is one or the other. I didn't mind it, but all I could think about was how that poor kid in the stand's life just got ruined.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think selfie kid.
What happened?
Well, he, JT, as I like to call him.
Only his close friends.
Your close friends.
Yeah.
He ran up into the stands and grabbed some little kid, and he's kind of singing and dancing with the kid, but the kid doesn't really know the words. He's like, I mean, let's be honest, Timberlake's a little old now, like us.
Sure.
So the kid's like barely knows the word. He kind of does a selfie, and then the guy's JT's still standing there, and the kid's like, you could tell he's almost Googling who the fuck is Justin Timberlake. Right. And all I could think was like, this kid, when he gets to school on Monday, it's not going to be cool. Like, kids aren't nice. They're not going to be like, oh, you got to stand next to Justin Timberlake. They're just going to be like, man, you look like a douchebag on TV. Like you didn't know the words. You don't even seem to know who this guy is. And then you just stood there on your phone.
Sorry that happened, bro.
I'm thinking that JT ruined this kid's life.
Yeah.
Or, dude, you looked hella retarded dancing to a Justin Timberlake song, bro. Yeah. What is wrong with you?
There was basically no way to win. If he knew everything, then it would be like, there's a lot of new artists out, kid.
Yeah, let's go.
Or he didn't, and it goes wrong that way. You couldn't win.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like to keep my finger on the pulse of the meme world, the deep web, okay? And right. There's a couple memes going around about that, but none are mean to the kid. One is what you just said, like, who is Justin Timberlake, which is like a screenshot of him and then screenshot of the Google search bar.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool for that, because there's nothing worse, I think, in today's day and age where if you're the subject of a meme that goes viral and you're like 12 and have braces, like that's the worst. That's the pinnacle of your life, and you'll never get higher than that, and that's a terrible place to get higher.
I feel bad for this kid, and I feel like Timberlake's going to have to go to his school and like make things right.
Okay, but
no, I think he's going to fight for him.
Let's put things into perspective, though. This kid he was with somebody who had Super Bowl tickets, and his tickets were good enough that Justin was actually just able to run up the stairs to him.
Yeah, but you're an adult. Kids are not going to look at it that way. All they're going to do is pick apart anything he didn't do that was cool.
Your braces were so shiny,
like anything. And at first I'm like, oh, it's cool. He's running to the stands, and then instantly with the kid, I just went, oh, this kid. This poor kid.
Yeah. Well, what about poor JT? He picked the one kid who wanted to sit on his phone instead of dance with him.
Right. Yeah, so we should feel bad for that superstar.
Right.
Feel bad for his entire Super Bowl show. It was boring. It was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't amazing, but it was just super boring.
The Prince tribute was terrible.
Dude, I liked it.
I Would Die For You was terrible. What?
First of all, wrong song.
He didn't.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's the song they played.
No, I know.
They say they chose the wrong song.
Because it's a tribute to a guy who died. The last thing you want to do is call attention to the fact that he said that he would die for you.
I didn't even put that together. Yeah.
But play a Zeppy song. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. It's a fucking Super Bowl. Let's go. Why are you sitting down at a piano? Why don't you? What I would like to do, if I could go back in time, and coach JT. Jay Tizzle, whatever, a little more familiarity. Replicate one of his like 30 seconds of like Purple Rain on the stage, like one of his the competitions, right, when he played When Doves Cry or whatever.
Yeah,
and do some dances and shit. Don't just sit at a piano and almost jerk yourself off. And then here's like a projection of Prince from the greatest movie ever made on a piece of like linen.
Well,
so it was stupid.
I heard a couple things about it. For one, I feel like it was meant to be somewhat of a somber moment. That's why the piano instead of the big thing. And I don't know if this is true because it was internet bullshit. People were complaining that his likeness was used. Another sign that the black man is being used in media or whatever it was. And I was like, actually, how about it was a show of respect and like honor for one of the greatest artists that we've ever seen in his hometown.
Agreed.
Anyhow, the rumor was that maybe JT had asked to do a hologram of him.
That's what I've heard too.
And that the Prince estate said no. He's very. He had always been very cautious and conscientious about his likeness being used, his image being used, and they said no.
Yeah.
And instead, they compromised with the projection of him, so that it was actually him.
Yeah.
So. That's why I didn't mind any of the. I didn't mind the projector. I was a little weird on the flowy thing, but he was a flowy guy.
He was a flowy guy.
And it matched his flowy shirt.
That's true.
I saw a meme of Jerry Seinfeld in the
in the shirt.
In the shirt.
Oh man!
And they put him on the screen on the big projector.
That's a good one.
And I was like. Oh, that's the shirt. It's the same.
That's a good one because the one I've seen is where they have. The comedian Dave Chappelle when he played Prince.
Yeah.
They have him on the projection, like as the
with
thing.
The shirt
like,
too.
That's just perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nice tribute.
Yeah.
But it's the Super Bowl halftime show. Why are we bringing it down? If you're gonna, you know what I mean. And there were
but
bands,
only because it was his hometown, like it was his place.
And that's cool. But hey, remember this guy who died. Oh, you don't? Well, let me sing a song where he dies.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't put that together. Like I said, that might have been a bad choice. Now that I just love the song, so I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't.
That was a great song.
I did die for you.
I didn't die for this.
Yeah. Well, I found it entertaining.
So Janet Jackson did not make an appearance?
No.
Maybe that's why it was boring, because the last time he was on, there was Boobygate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the third time he's done the Super Bowl halftime show.
Really?
I mean,
yeah.
In Sync, Janet Jackson. And this time
he's kind of a powerhouse. That guy. I'm a not so closet JT fan.
Yeah.
And it's because I used to be like the boy bands and whatever when I
NSYNC
I was a dude, too macho, but. Over the years, the guy he cracks me up on SNL, and he did the comedy album with the dude from SNL.
Yeah.
And he loves to make fun of himself.
Right.
And then I don't know, he's almost MJ out there with the moves and the talent and the.
Let's not go there.
I really appreciate when he came out. Like at first, he came out with like 4 men that were all dancing behind him.
Yeah.
Not in sync.
Right. Well, because one of the dudes is in Big Brother now. He's on Celebrity Big Brother.
Oh, that's too bad.
So you can't have an in sync without the ugly one or whoever he was.
No, but I think she meant they weren't dancing in sync.
Oh,
isn't that what you meant?
No, I meant
that was way too clever for people.
Yeah,
because I was that's clever. You're right.
No, I mean he came out with essentially a little boy band.
I see,
but he didn't give his homies any play.
Right.
No.
Well, that's
good.
Yesterday's news.
Yeah. Wanted too much money.
Yeah.
It was weird, man.
Well, I don't know. I liked it. I was a couple beers deep, though, so...
I like anything. I love this. When you scream black for 10 seconds. This is great!
Yeah.
The power's out.
Can we just talk real fast about those fucking Tide commercials and how those were the best thing about the entire ads on the Super Bowl?
I don't remember.
You don't remember the Tide commercials?
I have a vague memory.
Oh, I think I heard about those. Where they were making fun of all the other commercials?
Of every
commercial. So they had the sheriff from Stranger Things. I forget homie's name.
Okay.
And basically, he was like...
he used to be the 7-Up guy, right?
That was a black guy. I don't know. It was basically, it was like, well, every commercial is a Tide commercial because this commercial is about how clean your clothes are, because you never see stains in a normal commercial. So they were like, dude, does that mean every commercial is a Tide commercial? And then for the next, like, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 different commercials throughout the show, it was like a 15-second thing where you think it's another commercial. Like they had a Clydesdale running through, and Taryn and I are both like, oh, good, here comes the fucking Budweiser ad. And it was this, homie on a horse. He goes, nope, Tide commercial. And it was like his clothes are perfect. It was hilarious. It was great.
Okay.
It was perfect. So
I'll have to go check it out. I heard YouTube put all, like, 27 or however many commercials there are on YouTube. You can go watch them.
Tide spent a lot of money.
Okay.
Did you go buy some Tide?
Yeah, did it work?
I already have some.
And so I thought it was kind of weird because they have the Tide Pod, like kids are eating Tide Pods now.
Yeah, they're good.
Why is that? I've heard that's a thing.
It was a meme. Like people were like putting them on pizzas and cooking them on pizzas and posting a picture as memes.
As a joke?
It was just funny. And then people started eating them.
Does it work? Like,
you don't get high? No, you don't get high.
You get sick and die.
You get sick and die.
It's just eating soap, right?
Yeah. Right, exactly. And anyway, it's weird, but I thought, like, that's kind of a weird brand reinforcement.
Yeah.
I think they leveraged off the internet exposure.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They didn't show any pods on the ad. Yeah.
No, for sure.
They had to be sensitive, but that's a good point, Tasty. They leveraged it, but they still had to back off from that.
Moved it on track.
Yeah,
and reminded everybody that it's about clothes.
Right.
That's where they didn't.
It's not about dumbass kids eating Tide Pods.
They didn't mock a Doritos commercial in their Tide
That Doritos
ads.
commercial was badass too, by the way.
Oh, I don't know.
It had
I don't think
what's that little midget homie from Game of Thrones?
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage rapping a Busta Rhymes rap.
Oh,
it was
and then
good.
they had Morgan Freeman rapping a Missy Elliott rap.
I see.
And it was I don't know, man. They were lip syncing, obviously, but it was pretty fire, dude. It was pretty good.
Gotta love the commercials.
Fucking love the commercials.
What
Super
happened to
stoked on it.
kids? You used to consume things even if they were dangerous because they got you high.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember we used to chug full bottles of Robitussin because it would make you trip balls if you did it fast.
Absolutely.
But like Tide Pods, I don't know.
Doesn't even do anything
They
for
literally
you.
don't do anything except make you ill.
What if you snort it? Does it work then?
I think you drown.
Let's try it.
You drown.
Yeah, you get bubbles, man.
All right, tonight's guest, we've got Philipsburg Brewing Company on the program, and they're from Montana, Philipsburg, Montana to be exact. And Ben Johnson, the head taproom brewer, is going to be in the studio with us. He came all the way out from Montana and brought us a grip of beer. We have a lot of beer to get through, and some cool stuff. We're also going to get to taste some beer that they haven't even launched yet. I think they're launching it next week, but they brought it to us to give it a try. So we're going to be talking to Philipsburg Brewing tonight, if you stay tuned past our 30 minutes of bullshit. All right, let's do a couple of announcements. The announcements are brought to you today by Drake's Brewing Company, one of my favorite breweries on planet Earth. And SF Beer Week is coming up next week. So go to drinkdrakes.com. They've got a few events happening. They put on some good ones. One of our favorites here in the studio is their Sour Sunday event. They put that on at their sister locations between Triple Rock, Jupiter, and I think also at Drake's this time. Go to drinkdrakes.com and check it all out. Spring Brews Festival tickets are on sale. You can go to thebrewingnetwork.com and buy your tickets right now. I suggest you do so. You never know when that thing's going to sell out. Got a good lineup shaping up this year.
Yeah.
What do we have? Do we have any ciders pouring? Someone is asking if we have ciders.
Two Towns, which is one of our favorite cideries from up near Flattail in Oregon.
In Corvallis.
Yeah. So, we'll have at least that one. We don't have another one signed up yet, but Two Towns is all you need, really. They're good.
We have 49 confirmed. I checked today.
Okay. We always end up at about 60.
Yeah, we'll have more
by the end. But I know Russian River signed up there. Almanac signed up. I just talked to them this weekend. Society Brewing Company. Tasty's buddies down at Central Coast Brewing are coming up. And Libertine, who I really like, although it's because I really like Tyler. But he can't come up. He's sending some lackey, I guess. But that's all right, because their beer's real good. I just was hoping to get to fuck around with Tyler. He's a good time.
I'll be bringing beer.
That's right. That brewery, Loma Brewing Company.
Never heard of it.
Is going to be on.
The beer's all right.
How depressing was work today? Because the Patriots lost.
I don't know.
No.
I didn't know that. You just told me.
Nope.
I stayed in the brewery, so,
They kept to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loma will be there, along with the California Brewer of the Year, or whatever the fuck you are. I forget.
Right, that's the same brewery.
Yeah. You'll be there.
Right.
So.
And it'll still be within the year that we are California Brewer of the Year.
So the reigning
just barely.
So,
okay.
Right. Everybody check out the beers. For sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Tasty's Tasting Room will be there.
Oh, in full force.
Yeah.
Sure.
Tasty's Tasting Room brought to you this year by White Labs, actually. They're going to be there on hand giving out swag to everybody. And, backed by popular demand, Tasty's Tasting Room. So go to thebrewingnetwork.com. You'll see a big, giant photo right there on the homepage that says click here for Spring Brews Fest ticks. You can also support us by buying merch. Go to our store. We got Sour Hour shirts in there. There's a couple new Hop Grenade designs. So check it out. It's a great way to support us. Plus, you get cool swag. I discovered that I wear almost nothing but Hop Grenade, but Brewing Network gear.
Yeah?
Like almost nothing. There's about maybe 4 days a month that I'm not. And I don't really know I'm doing it. Sometimes I've got I put on the shirt just because that's what shirt I'm wearing.
Sure.
And then I decide to wear a hat that day, and it's always my BN Army hat. And then I go outside and discover it's a little chilly, so I put on the zippy. And I must look ridiculous half the time. I'm walking around like I'm in a full uniform all the time. And this has been going on for years, I realized. I just didn't realize it until recently.
You're a company man.
I am. Well, it's either that, or we have really cool swag. Like, I like our clothes better than, clothes I would be able to afford at Target.
It's not that you have bad taste.
Right.
And are wearing
Thank you.
ugly clothes.
That's a good...
Right.
Yeah, that's
it's
what
not
I think. So go to the store and do that. Get yourself some cool stuff, too. You can also do your Amazon shopping by clicking the Amazon links on our homepage. If you click the Amazon link, it'll take you to a page where you can click whether you're from the United States or the UK, and then just do your Amazon shopping as you normally would, and it's a great way to support the BN. You can also subscribe and join the BN Army. Gives you a chance to win $100 to More Beer in the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, and we do that every single month for as little as $2, or you can give more, and it keeps us on the air. Get updates and funny things and other things on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yes.
Send your feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. You can send show ideas there. You can send fun comments. You can send angry emails.
Mm-hmm. Please do.
Yeah.
Sad emails?
Pictures. You can send us pictures.
Yeah.
We don't care. Just send it all there. Feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. We have a Twitter game?
We do.
Great. Twitter game is brought to you today by Beersmith, the Beersmith brewing software. Go to beersmith.com. Get your free 21-day trial of the best brewing software on the planet for professionals and home brewers, in my opinion. Works on a PC and a Mac. You got video tutorials over there that'll show you how to use every single piece of it, things you don't know you need. He's also got a podcast, Brad, over there, where he interviews some cool industry people. So go check it all out at beersmith.com. What's our Twitter game?
Well, as you know, Justin, maybe you don't know this, the Super Bowl is over. It's just one game.
So it's one game. It's not 7 games?
It's not best of 7 like any other...
Imagine if it went on for 7 Sundays.
That'd be amazing.
It would be kind of fun.
That'd be great.
Worst time of year for hangovers.
I think it'd be really cool, man, for sure. But anyway, it's over.
Okay.
The Patriots lost. Tom Brady is a losing quarterback. He's a loser. Officially... a loser.
Okay.
But he's decided, I read his Twitter, that he's getting into homebrewing.
Is this real?
This is real. So I want us, the BN Army, the Brewing Network Army of Brewers, to name his first beer for him.
Okay. Name Tom Brady's first beer as a home brewer now that he's got plenty of time on his hands.
Yeah.
Is that like his last game or something?
No,
he's not retiring or anything? Okay.
I don't know.
Because it's a tough way to go out.
Right.
With his career, you can't go out on a loss,
I don't know how many more wins he has in him. The kid's 40 years old, man. Open mouth kissing his son on the internet. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, my God, dude.
I don't want to know
Tom
about that.
Brady's laying down. He's getting his pecs massaged. And his kid's like 11. His kid comes in, and Tom Brady's back down on the massage table. He's like, hey, come here. And the kid comes over and gives him a peck on the mouth. Which, first of all... You're too old to be kissing your pops in the mouth.
How old is the kid?
I think like 11. I don't know. Okay. He's tall enough to see over. He doesn't have to reach up or get on a stool to kiss his dad on a massage table. So
okay.
And then Kid runs to the door, and Tom goes, "Oh, well, that was a peck."
Oh.
And then the kid comes back, and I swear to God, they open mouth kiss for like 5 seconds.
No.
Yeah. Like, when you're leaving the house.
Was it a joke between them?
No, it's like a thing.
No.
It has to be a thing. First of all, even if it isn't a joke, it's just weird. But when you leave the house and you get you're just going to kiss me like that? And you go, okay, and you have to like go, like an actual like thing, like a kiss. It was like that, and it was oddly weird. It was very, very strange. And I was like, this guy's just... I don't know, man.
I'm going to pretend I don't know this. This is weird.
I'll find the video and show it to you. I'll text it to you every hour on the hour.
Send it to feedback at the Brewing Network.
It's going to ruin my life.
Open mouth kiss in the sun.
That's so weird. People do weird things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
4 almonds and an open mouth kiss. That's what he has to do.
All right, let's do some feedback. Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com. John will take great care of you. He takes good care of us and our trademark, and he can help you with your TTB filings and all sorts of stuff. He's a good guy. beerlawcenter.com. Just a couple things in the feedback today.
Yes.
First one's about our new show, Heads and Tails.
Hey!
Oh,
yeah.
I like that show.
JP and Beardy's new show about distilling. Joe writes in, I've been really impressed with Heads and Tails over the first 3 episodes. If I learn anything near what I've learned about beer from the last decade of listening to the BN, I'd be thrilled. I'm not a liquor guy, but I do work for a beer distributor and homebrew from time to time. But listening to Heads and Tails makes me want to start drinking the liquors that JP and Beardy are talking about. Just promise me you won't start doing Drunk of the Week on Heads and Tails. He says, I won 3 times in the session, but I think I'd get way drunker way quicker with Heads and Tails. Thanks for the great content. There is no Drunk of the Week on Heads and Tails, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Not yet, though. When we get like 5 years in and we run out of content, maybe. Who knows?
But we also did make a shorter show, so that way it compensates for how the rapid drunkenness.
Oh.
Yeah, that would be a terrible 3-hour format show.
So much slurring after 3 hours of drinking with you.
Yeah, especially if you ever had Doc on as a guest to help you out. I mean, 12 minutes in.
We haven't even tasted anything.
Doc's telling us about his day.
All right, let's see. Dave writes in, hey, guys, thanks for all the great content. The past few months' shows have been slow to appear in the Stitcher app. He says, I assume it's a Stitcher issue, but thought I'd give you a heads up. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's an automated process. I can check it out and see if they're not finding us quickly or something. Thanks for the heads up, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
All right, and then Ryan writes in. He writes in from a stone's throw from the show, so he could be writing in from the tap room out there. It's about Pico Brew. He says, Pico Brew is coming out with a 110-gallon machine.
Oh, a 1 to 10 gallon machine?
Oh, a 1 to 10 gallon machine.
Damn.
Called the Pico Brew Z.
Pico Brews.
He said it's time to get Annie back on the session to talk about that.
Dope.
Yeah.
What's the normal one?
5.
Just a
no,
straight,
2.5. Excuse me.
It's
Why did I say 5?
2.5 gallon.
2.5.
That's that. Okay.
Yeah. Zymatic.
Picos.
Oh, and I guess there's a Pico Still?
Yeah.
Soon.
So they sponsor Heads and Tails, the Pico Still.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. He's excited. Ryan here ordered one. So he's waiting for delivery. And,
so are we.
And to distill some hops, herbs, and whatever else I can distill.
Water.
You guys are getting one, too.
Warren and I are going to get one to play around with, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
What's it? I mean, what is it? Is it? It's not just like a pot still or something. It's more automated, like the Pico Brew.
Yeah, it's a little machine. It works with the Pico C, I believe, which is like their 1 gallon kind of thing.
Okay.
And I don't know how it works. I don't know really anything about it.
Wow.
Except that you can distill at home, and you can kind of distill whatever you want, and hop oils and all this kind of stuff.
Wow, they are like in charge of home like alcohol automation.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It even makes the cuts and everything, so it's automated to the level where it separates out the stuff that will make you go blind.
Okay.
And just leaves you with the things that you want to actually be drinking.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool system they've got going.
That's amazing. Is there going to be a Pico wine soon? I mean, I feel like, why are they stopping now?
I don't know. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
Pico kombucha?
Yeah. And then finally, Heads and Tails really enjoyed the first show with Lost Spirits, and he says he's still gearing up for number 2.
Awesome.
So that's February's episode comes out in a couple weeks.
Correct.
With Rogue.
With Rogue Spirits.
Rogue
Distilling, yeah.
That'll be good.
Should be good.
All right. You can get Heads and Tails in iTunes and the Google Play Store, as well as all of our other shows are now in both of those arenas, iTunes and Google Play, just like you've been asking for. Just ask for a few years and things happen around here.
Don't be discouraged.
That's right. Never get discouraged. Just have patience. You know, we teach home brewing and patience at the Brewing Network.
I heard Spotify does podcasts now, but it's like super limited. Like you fill out a form. I just did this with mine today, and you wait to hear back, and eventually they maybe will open the gates for you to enter their world, and maybe not, which seems very douchey to me.
That is all true.
Yeah.
They are also incredibly cautious about even a speck of copywritten material. So if you use a speck of bumper music that is somebody else's music, you will never make it to Spotify, because they have, their whole business is to get you to pay for copywritten music, and if they make any violations whatsoever, they're screwed. They will lose that licensing. So I always thought, wow, it'd be great to get on Spotify, but it ain't ever happening with most of our shows here on the BN.
Yeah.
Because we've been around so long that, like, nobody cared when you used a little copywritten music. So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Heads and Tails purchased the music, our music. So
it's royalty free.
Royalty free.
Or I guess we could record our own new song.
We'll beatbox.
I don't even think they make an exception for that.
Really?
Yeah, because I spoke at this podcast convention years ago, and they were talking. Someone was talking about this, and because they were saying like, oh, well, what if it's your like friend's band who writes you the piece of paper and says, or like you're saying, royalty free. Spotify won't touch it. They won't fuck with it because they don't know, and they don't have the time to figure it out. And imagine what's at stake for them.
Right. Sure.
Basically, their entire business, because two bozos from Concord accidentally, put on something with a copyright.
Oakley, let's be clear.
Sorry.
Well, one Concord, one Oakley.
Yeah,
right.
one lives in an RV. The other one lives in the land of RVs.
That's true. That's pretty true.
So. Anyway, submit it by all means.
Yeah.
It's just this is what I heard a couple years ago when they were first opening it up on Spotify.
That's crazy.
So good luck.
Fuck them.
Good luck. All right, that's all for feedback today. We are going to take a little break here, and when we come back, as promised, we've got Philipsburg Brewing Company on the program, and Ben Johnson is going to join us, and we're going to taste a lot of beer. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Grog tags aren't just for labeling your home brews to hand out to your friends. They're the perfect way to round out your personal brewing marketing. Bringing your latest beer to a funeral? Craft a metal sign to go with it. Heading out to little Liam's bar mitzvah? Grog Tag custom bottle caps are awesome. Couldn't get out of jury duty this year? Grog Tag the hell out of the deliberation room with reusable labels. Grog Tag has an awesome array of products just waiting to be customized by you. Metal signs, coasters, tasting mats, bottle caps, tap handles. It's all there waiting for your designs at Grog Tag. Liven up your next party with the widest selection of custom products ever offered by a sponsor of the Brewing Network. Grog Tag. At least your beer will look good.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood, made with real monk. Watch out! So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment. Watch out! This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff. Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers. It's freaking awesome. Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
And now back to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Yes, thanks for sticking with us. You're tuned into the session on the Brewing Network. And as promised, I've got Ben Johnson from Philipsburg Brewing Company in the studio with us. He came all the way out from Philipsburg, Montana. Before we get to that, don't forget about Great Fermentations. You can go to greatfermentations.com right now. Check out the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the business in using Blickman products. Top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. Check them out at greatfermentations.com. Be sure to like them on Facebook, GR8 Fermentation, and Instagram and Twitter. GreatFermentations.com. Ben, welcome to the studio, man.
Thanks.
You came all the way out from Montana to see us.
Yes.
I appreciate that, dude.
Well, it was fun meeting you guys in Denver.
Yeah, we saw you after you won your medal there, right?
It was a little late at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it should be, a little party night for you guys. You were not a stranger to medals. You've won medals at GABF before, though.
That was our second, yeah.
Okay.
So the last 2 years we won bronze for that beer specifically, the Five Phantoms.
That's the one we're going to try second, I think, here.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad you brought us that beer. Yeah, well, congratulations on your success. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the brewery. How long has the brewery been open?
Yeah, the brewery opened in 2012.
Okay.
And the story of that is that one of the owners, Rob Jarvis, bought the building back in the 90s, like early 91.
Okay.
But he was living and working in Washington, and it was kind of one of these projects where, when I retire, I'll, build a brewery, and, 5 years go by, 10 years go by, and 15 years go by.
Oh, man.
And then he ended up partnering with Kathy and Nolan Smith, who are locals, who helped him get it open.
Okay, so that's what I was kind of trying. So he bought the brew house, is what you're saying, but he didn't buy a brewery that was open.
No.
Okay,
Yep. So,
I understand.
So Philipsburg is a old mining and timber town.
Okay.
So as you can imagine, in the 90s, it was kind of dying because those industries were leaving.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of buildings available. So actually, the building that we brew in was built in 1888. It's a historic building, built originally as a bank.
Okay.
And then
was there still the safe in it?
The safe is still in it. We
Nice.
still use it.
That's
we put
cool.
all our swag in there, and people go up there and buy shirts and T-shirts out of it.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's right in the middle of the brewery.
Yeah, very cool.
Which is nice, but it's also right in the middle of the brewery. So
okay, and it can't be moved.
It's really designed not to be moved.
Right. Okay, so that's cool. The building's got some good history.
Yeah, it's great. So it actually took about 3 years to renovate. Got opened in 2012. That's when they hired Mike Elliott, the original head brewer.
Okay.
He set it up, and things went a lot better than they planned.
Okay.
The original business plan was if they could sell 25 pints a day, they'd be all right. So
wow, that's some small town ambition. Right there.
Yeah. So kind of to go back a little bit,
I could have helped them with that myself. I think.
Well, the thing is, you can only sell 3 pints per day per person in Montana. So
that's a real thing. You're not joking
that's a
with
real
me
thing.
right now.
48-ounce rule. So you can only sell 48 ounces of beer per person per 24 hours.
This is still a real thing.
Still a real thing.
So let me get this straight. So if I come in, you monitor that I've had my 3 pints, and then that's it.
Yeah, we give you a card that kind of marks that you've had 1, 2, or 3 beers. And
right.
After that, we're
What if I go to the bar next door?
If you go to
start over?
If you go to a bar, you can stay there and have as much as you want. But a brewery, the licensing is such that breweries can only be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Can only sell 48 ounces.
Is that to go or in-house?
In-house. So we can sell growlers to go. We're open till 9 to sell growlers, and you can buy as many growlers as you want.
I see.
So.
What's the
nice
population?
What is the population? I'm curious about the same.
Population is about 850 people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can see why they're budgeting 25 pints.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Actually, that would be an enormous success.
At 3 at a time, right? So, and the funny thing is our owners were at CBC when they first opened up, and they ran into Jim Koch from Boston Beer. And you know how he loves, brewery stories and opening.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, we're opening a brewery. He's like, we're so happy for you. That's great. Tell me a little bit about it. It's like, oh, well, we're in a town of 800 people in rural Montana. And he was like, oh, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we have a second brewery. We have a 50-barrel production brewery, and we're distributing.
In the same town.
In the same town, about
Take
a mile
that,
up
Jim.
the street.
So,
Go into your yogurt with your yeast in it, you maniac.
Just sell some stock, Jim.
Is that so you can sell six pints to the same person?
3 here, 3 there.
We can do that, but
you have a free shuttle that goes between the two.
Between ends of the bar.
It's called the 6-pint shuttle. That's how you get your fill for the day.
Yeah, we actually do a 0.5K race from the original brewery up to the second brewery.
I can handle that
with a water stop at the bar in between on your way up.
Nice.
I love this. So, you live in this town?
I do.
How long have you lived in this town?
About 4 years now.
Okay. Did you move there for the brew gig?
Yeah.
From where?
From Southern California,
okay.
Kinda.
That's what I'm getting at here.
I was nomadic
bored
for a while.
You were, okay.
Yeah.
Were you bored as shit when you moved to this town, or did it appeal to you, this kind of small town life?
It did.
Okay. I mean, I guess if you were living in your car, anything was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had spent some time living in Vermont in a small ski town as well.
Okay.
Philipsburg is kind of a small ski town as well. There's a ski hill.
Nice.
Discovery Ski Basin is about 20 minutes away. It's a really great ski hill.
So does that bring in tourism for you guys?
It does in
the
winter. Summer's much stronger for us. We're actually surrounded by a lot of national forests, and there's a lot of incredible fly fishing and anything outdoors that you could think of doing.
Got it.
That's kind of where we are. And
so you guys are probably quite busy, despite being a small population.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and I think kind of where we're located, we're about an hour and a half away from Helena, Butte, and Missoula.
Nice. Okay.
Which are some of the larger cities. And so we're a perfect day trip for a lot of those towns. So
Right.
we get a lot of people coming through there. We're also halfway between the two big parks, between Yellowstone and Glacier.
Okay.
So we get a lot of people traveling through
Got it.
that way as well.
So you have huge weekends and summers and
summers,
spring breaks and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really the biggest. We're super busy in the summer.
Is it a restaurant too in the tap room? Or?
No.
Okay.
Again, the laws are kind of weird where they don't have like traditional brew pubs. So if you have a restaurant and you have a brewery license, you kind of like lease out space to the restaurant.
I see.
And it's kind of separated that way.
See, California's the opposite. They will give you, the more food you serve, the more leeway you get.
Yes.
So they'd rather you intermingle that way. Interesting. So, all right, so you guys must be busy. Mm-hmm. You're the 3 pints thing is a statewide. It's not a city. Okay, yeah, it's a state.
Yeah,
is Philipsburg a city or is it a?
It's a town.
It's a town. Yeah. Are you going to be mayor of Philipsburg one day?
Everyone gets to be mayor of Philipsburg.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you just wait.
It's your turn.
He's on the rotor. Yeah. March 3rd to March 5th. That's his moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you get visitors in the tap room, but you obviously distribute beer into these
Yes,
other
we do.
markets.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I come into the story is that they opened up in 2012 with 2 fermenters looking to sell 25 pints a day.
Okay.
Things go way better than they expect.
What size are the fermenters? Sorry.
10 barrels. It's a 10-barrel brew house.
Okay, yeah. And 2 10-barrel fermenters.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
But
25 pints a day, you don't need much.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it goes great.
Goes great.
Okay.
So within a couple months, they order 3 more fermenters.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years a year and a half or almost 2 years go by. They're looking to expand. There's where our second brewery is the site of a water bottling plant that they built in the 90s.
Okay.
And eventually went out of business in the early 2000s.
How did that happen?
Man, they missed the bubble.
I think, that's like the
Really
water
got
bottle.
well, the thing is that they got in right before Coke and Pepsi got in. And Coke and Pepsi just opened up their taps and dropped prices and just crushed a bunch of guys. In the water.
Okay.
And they missed the kind of the artisanal leg of it.
Yeah.
So they just never made it through.
Okay. Okay.
Also, a little further back, it's the original site of the original brewery in Philipsburg from 1870.
Got it.
It's on top of a complex of springs, about 11 springs. Get about 300 gallons of water coming out of
that are still functional and doing that. Nice.
Yep. And
okay.
it feeds part of the city's municipal water supply.
And how do you like that water as a brewer? Just we jump ahead for a second.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that water specifically is too hard really to brew with.
Okay.
But talking about the municipal water, that's actually great to brew with.
I see.
Which is one of the reasons why I took the job, because it's really soft. It's only about 40 parts per million.
Okay.
Total hardness.
Wow.
So they get most of their water from a reservoir, a lake above town.
Okay.
And that's slightly acidic. So they cut it with the alkaline spring water.
I see.
To get it into EPA standards.
And that's your municipal water.
Yeah, and that's our municipal water.
Got it.
We just run that through a charcoal filter, get the chlorine out, and
does it change frequently with that blend, or they got it nailed?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's pretty consistent.
Well, they're blending to get a certain pH. That means they're probably blending to get a certain flavor at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. I guess I always think when people say that, I always think of Colin up at Downtown Joe's. But he's saying that there, now that I'm remembering, there are multiple rivers pouring into one municipal water source. Yeah. So his water, he always complained, just changed daily.
Yeah, I think
but these are just two sources that they know what they are, and
they're going one from A and B at this ratio. Gives us what we want, and it's pretty consistent. So it's great. It's great to brew with.
Nice. The easy life up there.
Yeah.
Easy life.
That's right.
Easy city. So, 3 pints a day.
Yeah.
Life
no
is
water
good.
change.
Sounds very
good, man.
That's very healthy.
It's
even
chill,
right?
Fishing and
Let's go.
Get a growler to go.
This is your life, JP.
That'd be great.
Yeah, you were just born in the wrong place.
I really
Livermore screwed you over, man.
It really did, man. It really did.
You should have been born in Philipsburg, I think.
I probably should have.
You'd be the mayor.
You do well.
Yeah. Why do we need a full stop sign? We could just have a yield and it's fine. They don't understand.
Oh, my God, you sound like Sam.
So they expand to this building,
Yes,
and you come in because they need what?
They're looking to expand. They need some extra help brewing. They need a second brewer.
Okay.
And really, they brought me in to take over the Taproom Brewery, which I have, and then Mike,
which is still the 10-barrel.
10-barrel,
okay.
10-barrel, 5 10-barrel fermenters, 4 bright tanks.
Okay.
And take over there and allow Mike to design and implement, build out the production brewery and take over that. So he runs that.
Got it. And how big is the production brewery?
It's a 50-barrel brew house. We have 250 fermenters, a 60 fermenter, and a 100 fermenter.
Okay.
A 50 bright and a 100 bright. And we're looking to get another 90 in as well.
Wow. How many barrels a year are you guys moving out of there?
Up there, they're doing about a little over 4,000 barrels a year.
So you guys must have become a major employer in the town when that happened. I would think.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree.
Okay.
I mean, brewing's pretty efficient, on a production side.
That's true, yeah.
There's really only 4 of us. Mike's up there with Ryan, who brew up there. I have an assistant, Max, who kind of flows back and forth between the two of us.
Got it.
And then, I guess all told, we probably employ about 15 people.
Got it.
With bartenders and then some, administrative people and salespeople.
By my math, that's like a third of the town.
It's pretty close.
So maybe an eighth. I don't know.
He's good at math.
Yeah, really good at math. Okay, well that's a great success story. What year was that? I'm sorry, that the production opened.
That opened 2014, I think.
Okay. And how did they find you? Did you brew somewhere else previously?
I was mainly a home brewer. Homebrewed almost 6 years, and then for a short stint, I guest volunteer brewed down at the Booze Brothers in Vista.
Okay.
They'd let me come in and brew on their 1-barrel system, pilot system.
Nice.
When they weren't working, I'd just come in.
Yeah.
And brew something, and they would put it on tap.
Okay.
And then I went to Siebel, did the short course at Siebel.
Okay.
And then
which is what, like the 2-week course?
2-week
they do?
course.
Nice.
And, went there in person and did that, which was awesome. It was great.
Okay. And then just applied for this job?
I was just shooting resumes everywhere that I could.
Yeah.
And I was actually on my way to Rogue for my final interview there.
Okay.
When Kathy contacted me and was like, if you don't have a job already, we'd like to have you come out.
Right.
So I talked with them. And, they sound like really, really nice people, so I decided I'll give them a shot. So went to Rogue, got an offer from Rogue.
Okay.
Told them I had one more interview, went out to Philipsburg.
Damn.
Brewed with Mike. And took the job with
and just liked it.
Yeah.
Were there requirements like you have to drink your 3 pints a day? You have to kill your first 7 meals yourself when you're here. You got to go out hunting for them.
You got to fill the freezer, man. You got to fill the freezer.
Yeah, I feel like there was like a hazing or something for you to really be accepted.
There was. They took me out, out into the back roads, up above town.
And you're like, what?
You're like, okay.
I accepted the job, but I don't. What's going on right now?
They're just throwing guns out of the back of the truck. Okay, but you must have liked the town. It sounds like you liked the people.
Yes.
And just thought it'd be a good move for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I walked in and everyone was really warm and welcoming. And,
yeah, cool.
Mike was great and it's a real opportunity to brew right away and not be on a bottling line for a year.
Okay, that's true.
Washing kegs and kind of. There's something to be said for coming up through that, but I'm a little bit older, so I just kind of want to get into brewing.
Yeah,
back hurts.
Yeah. Brewing's a young man's game. Right. I only got a couple more years left. Get it all in while I can.
Bottling is a young man's game, man.
Now that you're living the dream, what do you sit in a hammock half the day is what it sounds like to me.
Right. He's the Walt Longmire of brewing. It's just like, nothing really happens.
You've got
until
some
it
years
happens.
in you now.
No, our system is an old specific from BC. Open top, we mash it by hand. Everything by hand. So,
geez,
we're moving. Yeah,
sound like Flattail.
Yeah,
so we're moving, and we get all our grain from the upper brewery. So we're moving all the grain down. We're moving the grain 5-6 times for a brew.
There's a lot of work.
So it's manual. I mean, I like it. Being hands-on.
Yeah.
It's pronounced pretty well.
I hope this doesn't come across as rude, but why do you think they chose you? Because it sounds like you had some education, but some pretty limited professional brewing experience. And I imagine even around that time, there were probably a lot of applicants. Do you have an inkling of why they might have chose you?
I'd say one of the main things is as a home brewer, I brewed a lot of different styles.
Okay, yeah.
So they were looking for someone to kind of continue growing the offerings that we had at the brewery and just kind of keep that spiced up. And, also, I showed up.
Yeah, got it.
You found the town.
In a town of 850.
Yeah. And I mean, they were looking for a while, and there were applicants, but there weren't any that were really willing to come out. It takes a certain type of person to move to rural Montana when you're an hour plus away from any kind of large-sized city.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think even continuing on, that is an issue, attracting talent.
Sure.
That way, because they were even smaller, and taking a big risk on expanding. Didn't know if they could bring on another person, pay wise. So it's tough to attract. We're not able to attract people by salary.
Okay.
Right. You have to be, attracted to that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, all right, I can see the ski hill from my house.
Right.
I can walk to the trout stream. I can go hiking. I can go, snowmobiling. I can get out on my ATV. I can do all that sort of stuff, and without any, buffering time, travel time between. You just go out the door and are able to do that.
It's a 5-minute walk to get eaten by a bear.
That sounds
really
so amazing.
Oh, yeah. It's really condensed.
Get your sidearm. Don't worry.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody's got that. You don't leave the house without that,
Can I have
right?
my double wide bear?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it would, I guess, limit the talent pool somewhat, but I feel like you'd end up with the quality of person that you guys really want to be working with.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you're all going to end up of like mind with similar interests, and so those are real like company people. I would think, I would imagine employees stay there for quite some time.
Yes, and I think ownership, especially Kathy Smith, is really good at identifying people and attracting people that really. Care. It's family, and they take really good care of us. I said that they're not able to pay us a lot, and I don't.
And that might change as they grow.
And that does change. I mean, I've gotten 4 or 5 raises since I've started.
Right.
And they are more than gracious, and
but the cost of living is must be lower anyway.
Yeah,
so all of these things must balance out.
Absolutely.
But I think you're still right in the you really have to like the lifestyle. No matter what anything else is happening, it's a lifestyle town,
because you can't really get away on a in any sense on a regular basis. You can get away on the weekends, but you can't every day go drive to Missoula.
Right.
So you have to enjoy being in town, and there are a lot of great people. I'd say it's a small town full of big characters. There are tons of like really interesting people in the town that are fun to hang out with. But if it doesn't work for you, it's not gonna work for you.
Yeah, I feel like I would be the town drunk is what would happen.
Well, there's competition.
Right.
Well, Gabby Johnson is right.
Well, that would be my posse, I think. Me and Gabby Johnson would be hanging out every Friday. We'd be rabble-rousing, all right.
Well, I mean, but how can you get drunk on 3 pints?
You go to the bars.
Each bar.
There's a bar that's open until 2 a.m.
Because you said bars.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's multiple bars.
Yep. So there's Brick's Pub, which is right across our way. That's open till like 11 or midnight. So it's has more of a food restaurant pub. Actually, it was just bought by a really nice guy from Delaware. I think he was near Rehoboth, kind of near Dogfish Head. Familiar with those guys, and so he recently bought that and is doing a great job there. But then there's the White Front, which is the local classic dive bar that's open pretty early in the morning and closes about 2 o'clock at night.
The Y Front?
White Front.
Oh,
White Front.
I thought like the British link for like tidy whities. White Front. I was like, that's a great name.
That's a good name. That's a good name.
Just to get a signage.
See, that's where I would want to hang out, but I think I'm just guessing.
You'd be too scared.
I'd get my ass kicked in that bar. I'd walk in with the stupid hair and whatever tight shirt I'm wearing.
Well, just right now.
I mean, working like that. Yeah, be honest. I would get my ass kicked.
Yeah, your glasses would be broken.
No, you'd be all right.
Okay.
We'd take care of you.
Okay.
Hey,
Of course, I'm
But
stereotyping.
you'd have to have a posse. You couldn't roll in there alone.
Right.
Well, it'd be the town drugs. That's where my posse hangs out already, obviously. So
You get comments like LBJ's rolling in his grave, his long hair, four-eyed freak.
Yeah. Doesn't have a sidearm. And if I did, I wouldn't know how to use it.
Yeah. Hey, son, how many bears you killed this season? That's what I thought.
Yeah. I ate a bison burger recently.
Grass-fed, free range.
It was a veggie bison burger.
Yeah.
There was avocado on it.
Right.
Get him out of here right now. If he says veggie something again. I hate to stereotype. It's probably not even like that, except maybe a little.
A little bit, but I mean,
there's a lot of flannel.
Given the size of the town and given the location of the town being very rural, there's a fair number of I mean, just in general, everyone's open-minded there. That's that's what I liked about the town.
Yeah,
people judge you on whether you come in, whether you work. If you're a worker,
sure, your character.
People care.
Yeah.
Just come in, handle your business, and be up front about stuff. It's totally cool.
They keep
I
their
have
heads down.
political views that are very different from a lot of the people there, but we're all still friends, and
because you
get
just
along.
everybody's just real
Just like,
people, and
real people,
be
just
kind to one another. You don't have to.
There's not enough space to not be. You see everybody all the time. Everyone knows what's going on and who you are.
Right.
So.
Would you say you know everybody in town, or at least can tell on sight who is not in town, who's not from town?
Most, yeah.
Really? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you walk around and you drive through town. That's kind of the weird thing when I go to leave town, go to Missoula or come out here. When I'm driving around or walking across the street, I just instinctively go to nod or wave at everybody.
Right.
Because I know everybody.
Yeah.
They know me. So.
I would hate that. If you're just having a bad day and you have to be like, hi, Sharon. No, I don't give a shit about your dog running away again.
Yes, I have a recipe for apple pie.
But I'm a jerk. I can see how people like that, but I'm not. I would have a hard time with that.
I don't think you would survive one cold season.
Well, that's true. I didn't even think about the cold. Fort Collins is bad enough for two reasons. One is the cold, and the other is not. It's big enough that not everybody knows each other. It's growing, but everybody's so goddamn nice all the time at the grocery store with the hi, how are you? No, really, I mean it. How are you?
Yes, right.
Tell me about your day.
Stop blowing me off and literally tell me what's going on with you. Did you pay your mortgage today? What's your interest rate?
Somebody was nice to me at the post office in Fort Collins.
It's right, and nobody here. People get shot in post offices.
Right. It's like Oakley. Everyone's
maybe
nice.
I would grow to like. Maybe it would change me as a person.
Well, it doesn't sound like it's like Stepford Wives, where it's like everything's really fake. People are just either nice or they're not so nice.
Like Ben said, he just knows them, so you kind of you just say hi.
You got to go, what's up?
Okay.
Yeah, the nod.
Well, let's talk a little beer, shall we?
Sure.
Especially because we got a great beer in our glass. We've been
only 3 beers, though. We can only talk about 3.
That's right. Well, they're not pints.
Right. Make them feel
so
like
we're going to get through several
we can
beers,
8 ounces,
but not more than 3 pints.
All right, well, let's do it.
Now, I believe that the first beer we're trying is not even released yet. You guys, you started a new program,
Sour Barrel program.
Okay.
Yep. So this is our first release out of that. And you guys are pretty much the first people really kind of outside the brewery or some of our distributors,
cool,
and a couple insiders.
Thank you for that.
To taste it. So I wanted to give you guys a scoop on it.
Warren.
It's our Rubric Flanders Red.
Okay.
Spent about 18 months in a mixture of red wine barrels.
Wow.
I'm maybe smelling the wrong one because I smell one that smells like oatmeal cookies.
That one's next.
That's the second one. Yes.
All right. Someone named Bevo.
That's their multiple medal winner.
Got it. All right.
Not
Hold
true.
on a second. Yeah, there we go. That smells like a.
There it is.
Yeah. So we do a saison, a standard saison, and a year or two ago we started to age some of it in Chardonnay barrels.
Okay.
And once we were done with those, we were kind of thinking of secondary uses for them because we weren't really going to get great flavor, wine character from it.
Yeah.
Again. So Mike started putting some beer into them and wanted to start a sour program, but he actually ended up getting really sick.
Oh.
He had like a kind of autoimmune reaction to hoof and mouth, and he lost like all the taste buds out of his mouth.
Oh no!
In the hospital for a couple of weeks, lost a ton of weight.
Wow!
It was really touch and go for a while. To be honest with you. So at that point I kind of assessed those barrels and got some bugs and soured them, and then we were ordered a second round of Chardonnay barrels. But a bunch of red wine barrels came in.
Okay, just accident.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was going up there with my saison to fill the Chardonnay barrels, start open up the pallets, and they're all red wine barrels.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh man, I got to figure out something to do with them. It took me a little while, but I was like, why don't we just throw a Flanders Red in them?
There you go.
What happens? So it was a mix of Pinot. We had a Cab and a Zin and a Primitivo.
Real mix.
Yeah. So, we were just starting. So, basically, I was just like, let's just throw some stuff at it and just see what happens, see what we get.
Sure.
So we aged those again about 18 months.
It's a long time.
We pulled these out and blended them together, and this is kind of what we got. So
okay.
First sour release. We're excited. So Saturday is going to be we're going to do a party.
This Saturday is when you're going to release it.
Yeah, the 10th. We're going to have complimentary beer and food pairings.
Nice.
And be selling the beer out of our tap room.
Out of the tap room. Okay. Yeah. Well, if my opinion counts, excuse me, I love this beer. I think it's very different for me as a Flanders. But in a really good way. A lot of times, I think over recent years, Flanders have gotten so Rodenbach-y, right, with the vinegar and that kind of extreme acidity. Mm-hmm. And this one, to me, is a little more like Brettanomyces forward, which is my understanding that will do a good job of kind of handling the acidity. Do I have that about right? That the Brettanomyces will do a lot of cleaning for you?
I believe so. I mean, this is actually the very first sour beer I've ever made, so I'm not a sour expert.
Okay, so. Well, if it's your first one, then I rate it even higher now. Because, I really like it.
Thank you.
Am I right about how the Brettanomyces will kind of tend to reduce some of that acidity and clean things?
It doesn't make as much acidity as Lactobacillus and Pediococcus.
Okay. But you used a blend of bugs, of course. It wasn't just bread.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we brewed it. I did a primary fermentation with our Saison yeast. We used the French Saison from Y Yeast 3711. So fermented it in our fermenters, about 3/4 of the way, then pulled it off, put it into the barrels, and then added a Roselaire blend. So that has the Brett and the Lacto and Pedio in it as
all
well.
in it there.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's all.
And it's a big beer. You made a big sour for your first sour.
I did. I did not account to how much the bugs would eat once they got in the barrel.
Oh, okay. Right. So it went in higher gravity.
It dropped. And we hit a lower gravity than I was expecting.
Oh, okay.
Again, it was my first sour, so I didn't quite put 2 and 2 together, which I probably should have because I'm a professional brewer. But so we ended up at 8.5%.
8.5. I see.
Yeah. It doesn't taste like an 8.5% beer.
Thank you.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But I think that high of an alcohol content can affect what bugs are active.
Yeah.
And so that's why it might not be necessarily aggressively sour yet, because the Brett would be more active. Lacto doesn't work very well at that high of alcohol.
I see.
So the alcohol is kind of selecting what bugs would be active in the blend.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be a little more sour, but or tart or something, but I think you erred on the right side. I think it landed on the side you want it to land on, in my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's kind of where, again, it's our first beer in this category. It's not, it's not a huge market in Montana, sour beers, especially in our own town market. Sure. There are a lot of people. When we're filling the barrels and talking about what we're doing and saying we're making a sour beer, the answer is
like a what?
Why would you make a sour? Why would you make it sour?
Right, yeah,
on purpose.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we are with this, and that's why part of the reason why I called it rubric. A rubric is kind of a set of characteristics by which you judge something. So teachers use rubrics. The BJCP is a rubric. It's a rubric also means introductory or explanatory statement. So this is kind of our first step into the sour category.
That's deep.
Try and help people kind of change. Whenever I talk about sours to kind of change the way they think about beer. And it took me a long time to even come around to it. And that was it. Part of that is just kind of switching that switch in my brain and not thinking about beer and just kind of accepting what was in my glass and whether I enjoyed the flavor,
Are there many sour beers in your town? Or, I mean, is this totally new to everybody?
In our town, there are no sour beers.
Okay. So this is going to turn everybody...
it'll be a new experience for a lot of people.
That's cool, man.
And,
the hell is going on at that brewery?
Look at this kid coming in and changing. What is this beer? I don't understand.
Crazy microorganisms.
I think it's a great introduction because the sourness more complements the flavors you get from the wine barrels and the Brett. I mean, maybe I don't know if there are Brett beers around in Philipsburg, but like. The acidity is more complementary instead of just blowing it out, and then people are just like, "Oh, this is puckering," and they don't get to taste all of the subtleties.
It's true, and if this was like a Rodenbach-style Flanders, you'd really piss the tent off.
Right.
I mean, that's hard for people who like sours to appreciate even. Yeah. So that's true. I think it's more palatable. And boy, for a first attempt too, I mean, I've had some real bad fourth attempts from breweries. I think sour beers come a long way in the U.S., so that doesn't happen so often anymore. But boy, do I still have some rough ones. Now, why 18 months? Did you pick that number, or did you taste all the way through and just decide it was done at that point?
It was mainly tasting.
Okay.
Again, we only have maybe a dozen or so now barrels. We've kind of added on, and they've just kind of been stuck here and there in the brewery, and it's not really the ideal temperatures or conditions for them where you would ideally want it to be.
Okay.
So it kind of took it a little while to get where we liked it, and then the other part is just infrastructure-wise, is getting the hoses and the bottling capabilities and kind of the mixing, Grundy to mix everything in. Kind of took a little bit of time, so that's kind of how we ended up where we were as far as time-wise. But
so will this only be available in town there at the pub, or will you distribute it? Because it sounds like a small amount.
Yeah, we did about 1,080 barrels.
Okay, so bottles. Some of it will move out of that. Bottles, yeah.
Eventually, some will go out to our distributors and hit some of the bottle shops in kind of the bigger cities around the state. But the first initial release will be in the tap room.
Okay.
And we'll be offering complimentary samples and tastings. We really want to help people kind of enter into this, to get the opportunity to taste it and try and get their heads around it.
That's a great idea.
Never had, so
that's really a good way to do it, especially on such a new market like that for this style of beer, to give away some. Just try it on us, and if you don't like it, that's what it is. But we want to, like you say, help wrap your head around it. Smart move.
Then they can buy the 750s to go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
As many as they want.
Yeah, we don't.
There's no law against that.
There is no law against that.
I'll take 100,000
because it's to go.
Yeah,
it's to go.
Me and Gabby Johnson are coming to buy at least 50.
You say you want 100,000?
Yeah.
All right. You can take them outside and drink them on the curb. There's no open container law in our
wait a second.
So there's a 3-pint law, but there's no open container law.
That's correct. So Philipsburg is a special town.
So you can have your 3 pints and get 2 750s and go sit on the curb.
Right.
Yeah.
And pound them.
Sounds like it.
You're good. You're all good.
Wow.
I like how Ben answers it like you're asking a stupid question.
Yeah. He's like,
yeah, you're fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That happens.
What about like BYOB? Like Texas has that where you can go to a barbecue joint.
Show. That show was great.
Yeah, I don't believe that's possible in town.
Okay.
You have to have a liquor license of some sort if someone's drinking in that establishment. There was a little while where some people were taking Go Cubs and going places where they weren't supposed to, and it became a little bit of a problem. But if you have a liquor license, you can. I mean, I've walked across the street with a beer from our place into other and everybody knows each other, so it's not really.
And that's actually okay because you both have a liquor license. Or you're saying that? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yep, and we'll get we'll have people bringing glasses back from.
It's like Las Vegas.
Bars.
They got the casino's got to get glasses back. So okay.
Hey, I took this. I'm sorry.
Why are you impersonating me right now? Every morning.
I don't know.
God, because that would be your life. You would go somewhere and you'd get a drink and you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna leave, and then you just wander to the next place.
That's true. And every
glass
morning,
in hand.
Ben's like,
"Come on, let's go."
Hi, Justin. How many glasses do you have for us today?
16.
They would use Justin to deliver glassware back. They'd be like, Justin, where are you going next? And then they would they'd give you a pint to go in that glassware.
I'm going to Y-Front.
Right.
It would have to be a multiple of 3 because obviously he would drink his 2 there and then take his 3rd to go.
It's my equivalent of a paper route. Is basically I would be the town paper boy.
Yes,
the glass boy.
Right.
Everyone has a job.
Everybody has their roles to play.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I heard in Stockton they're starting a select families are getting a $500 check.
Oh yeah, that's
right. That would be the pilot program. The city would pay you $5 or whatever it is, and then
and I could live on that maybe.
Probably, man. Probably.
All right. I got to get us to a break, but before we go, I wanted to taste this next beer in our glass. Especially
I'm on my
because
3rd one.
Of this beer?
Who's the town drunk now?
She'd be going around just yelling for Sam. I'm right here, Sam.
Sam's
I'm right behind you.
I'm returning your glasses. This is the Five Phantoms, which is a pumpkin spice barley wine. Another 8.5% beer.
Yeah.
And you guys have killed it in competition with this beer. In fact, this is how we met you last year after winning for this one, right?
Correct, yeah. We won last year. We won our 2nd bronze medal at the Great American Beer Festival for that.
Okay.
And the last 2 years, we've also won gold at the North American Brewers Association.
Nice.
And then I think we won a silver at the Craft Beer Awards with that last year.
Okay.
This year. So, yeah, we've been fortunate with that. Came out pretty nice.
I don't get pumpkin. It smells like an It's It cookie.
It does.
It's It.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of that cinnamon.
Well, you said pumpkin spice beer, so does that mean there's not pumpkin in it? It's just
there is pumpkin in it.
Oh, there is. Oh,
yep.
Okay.
So we
it's that creamy mouthfeel.
Yeah, we roast 10 pounds of pie pumpkins, 10 pounds of buttercup squash, and 10 pounds of butternut squash, and put that in our hop back.
So okay. 10 barrel batch?
10 barrel batch.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yep.
I taste pumpkin.
Yeah.
I even taste pumpkin.
Yeah.
I don't taste much right now, but I taste pumpkin.
I mean, it's generally
true.
And sometimes just the spices can confuse dummies like me and Bevo to taste like pumpkin. But I actually feel like I taste pumpkin.
I think I do also.
I think, you just go with the flow.
I think I like on the back end.
Actually, I agree with Jason now.
That's what I don't pay him to do.
car wax, yeah. No, I think probably what it is maybe the roasted squashes, the roasted flesh, and all that kind of stuff with the spices and all that kind of stuff is turning for me into more of a toasted oat. Well, like I said, like a cookie kind of a thing.
Which is nice.
It's great. You should enter it in as a pumpkin spice and as an oatmeal cookie. And see which wins more.
I don't think there's an oatmeal cookie category.
Why not, though?
We can talk to some people.
A cloudy oatmeal cookie, it'd be great.
I would vote for that to replace pumpkin.
Hell yeah.
I get a hint of, and I don't know if it's the barley wine, maybe the residual sweetness from that, but I get a hint of kind of the sweet pumpkin flesh flavor that you get in pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Which is different than just the normal spices that you get in pumpkin.
I don't get that,
beer.
but pumpkin, people say that you brew with pumpkin, it doesn't do anything. It absolutely does stuff. But I think in here it's contributing to the just kind of a creamy mid-palate thing all the way through.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal that I was going for and kind of where we're at it in the process is really just kind of give a base note of actual pumpkin flavor to it. There are a lot of pumpkin spice beers that don't have any pumpkin.
Right.
And I felt if I was going to do a pumpkin beer, I was going to actually have pumpkin in it.
Yeah.
But kind of as JP was saying, pumpkin is specifically pumpkin doesn't have a ton of flavor, and that's why pumpkin pie has all those spices in it.
Yeah.
But that's why we also try and add in buttercup and butternut squash that have a little bit more flavor than just true pumpkin.
Yeah, that's smart. And what part of the process you put all this in?
We add it in our hop back. So I roast it in my oven and scoop out the flesh and then put it in a muslin bag and hang it in our hop back as we're knocking out, along with some cinnamon
Got it.
And then,
You say flesh, is it pretty mushy? It's pretty soluble?
Yeah, roasted until it just scoops right out, and it's basically a puree without even having to puree it because it's just completely, roasted down.
And then is the cinnamon and the hotback the only spices that get introduced to the beer? Oh, okay.
No. Then we've gone through a lot of different phases with it, but what we've ended up with, when I first brewed it, we tried spicing just every stage that we could get spice into the beer. But basically, before I brought it down to the bright, none of those spices really came through. So we just threw everything we had left at it in the bright tank. So just put those. So we put ginger, vanilla beans, 2 types of cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and mace in there.
Mace.
Mace.
Yeah.
Bear mace.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a Montana thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And we put that in a bag, hang that in the bright tank, purge the bright tank, bring down our beer, and we let it sit on that for. I usually take it off of that after about 4 weeks, and that gives us what we like. Yeah.
And then, how old is the beer? How old is the barley wine from brew to when it's served?
Yeah, I mean, we do kind of halves and halves a little bit. I try to save about half of the batch for the next year because it tends to be better after a year.
Okay.
But to meet demand, we serve some of the fresh beer.
Okay. So in the same year, you'll release.
Yep.
2 years.
Yeah.
So people can do a little vertical.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I've this year we served the last of our 2014, but I still have a couple partial kegs of every other brew that we've done of it. So
that's cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So and that's actually kind of to talk a little bit about the winning the award. The first year we submitted it, the notes coming back were pretty unanimous that it was a good beer, but they would like to see a little more age on it. So I held that particular batch back and then resubmitted it, and that's when we won.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Well, and that's part of the barley wine style too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which the other thing I like about your choice of style for the base beer is that a lot of times especially when it's just spices in the, I don't even know what these are, amber ales and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
The beer is so thin that it doesn't help those that amount of spice out. That's what I generally don't like about the pumpkin beers. For one, that you don't taste pumpkin, and two, the beer itself is generally so thin that the spice is just so overpowering.
Yeah.
In this beer, I'm tasting a lot of spice. You guys didn't, in my opinion, pull back on the spice, but the beer can handle it because it's a barley wine, so it's got more substance, more body. And then maybe the fact that, I don't know if this one's aged that we're drinking here, too. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So then letting all that sort of meld together.
Yeah, it's about a year old, what you guys are drinking. So
yeah, I'd vote for this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In fact, I would put this on tap at one of my bars. And I had to fight with my, Fort Collins people. They're like, can we put pumpkin beers on? Oh, God, please.
Yeah, right.
But people want them, whatever.
I like pumpkin beers.
This one I'd be happy. I'd be stoked to put on.
I like them. I enjoy them.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't, but I would drink this.
There's a lot of, it's just any beer style. There's a lot of terrible pale ales, for example. There's a lot of terrible ones out there, but some are really good.
Yeah.
Same thing with pumpkin beers, although very much more narrow.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of good tasting pumpkin beers, but I don't hate the style. I think it's pretty good when it's done well.
I think for me, kind of coming up with deciding to do it, coming from the homebrew kind of side of things, generally you brew things you like to drink, brew things that you aren't able to get, and then also you brew things you don't like to see if you can make it a way that you do like it.
That's a good point.
So that was kind of one of the reasons why I decided to do a pumpkin spice barley wine. One, also because I felt if I missed, it would sell anyways. To be honest with you, it was the fourth or so recipe that I came out with, so I was still pretty concerned about brewing 10 barrels of beer and having it sell and not having it sit on us. So
but that's a good barometer.
Really to try and make something I like, and I don't really like the style, but I try and really do it the best I can.
Sure. What if I can make a beer in the style I don't like that I like? I think it's a great barometer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How does the town react to something like this? Like, you see what I'm saying? And I guess the overarching question is what do people like to drink in your city? And are you brewing beers for them? Or are you brewing beers for you and hope they like them? Or some weird combination of the two? Or
yeah, all of the above.
Yeah, answer in one breath, though.
And have you ever been shot at based on a beer that you've released?
Well, I mean, I think this beer has a very strong following. I think when we first released it, it may have took a little bit, but
kind of not correct, but bring everybody like, hey,
and
this is what's possible.
Yeah, yeah, and one thing we do also is in the tap room. If you want, we will rim the glass with sugar and cinnamon.
Okay.
So a lot of people like that as well.
Hell yeah.
Will you deliver to a double wide?
Yeah. And some people prefer not to have it, but I think, after I think the first year it kind of took a little bit to catch on.
Mm-hmm.
When we first released it went slow, but towards the end the sales kind of took off on it strongly. And now people know.
They're just waiting for the release now.
For it. And people will be in the brewery in August saying when are you going to release the.
See, that's just good. That's just a good beer. The people don't matter. It's what they've been exposed to, and so you have to expose them to something new, and then inevitably, just good beer always works.
Yeah,
you're always going to have people who go, I just like my beer the way I like it. That's always going to happen.
Our palates aren't so different. If this happened to be in the middle of Wyoming and you don't even know craft beer, you've been introduced to good flavors. You're going to like good flavors.
Yeah, and I think kind of to go on some of the other questions that JP was asking, it's just in general, this was a mining town. This was a yellow fizzy beer town.
Okay.
Coors, Bud Light drinkers. Again, that part of the reason why they were expecting to sell only 25 pints a day is because how can you realistically assume that people are going to come over and start drinking craft beer when they've never had it? So
it's a hard nut to crack.
I think Mike did a really great job, and is one of the things that when I came in and was evaluating the job opportunity, that Mike did a really good job of setting up the board with a nice spread of standard beers that were kind of allowed some introductory drinkers to come in. So our Haybag Hefeweizen, which still is our number one leader in sales, great American style Hefeweizen, and our Gonk Amber, things that, generally people switching, I have a theory kind of palate-wise, people switching into craft, they tend to come in through like a Hefeweizen or an Amber.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. And then eventually they may find what hops are, and get into IPAs, and then they may either
hopefully not though
get stuck in there, or hopefully they get out of that vortex and they
grow
to other things.
I think that's
so.
That's an argument
having those
why
established was great, and we have a ton of very loyal drinkers for those beers. People who will come in and will be like, "Oh, you don't have half. You don't
Where's
have
the half? Yeah.
It's like, but most of them will stay and have another beer, and I think my job is really, we have about 5 standard beers on the board. So we have the Gonk Amber, we have the Hefeweizen, we have a Raspberry Wheat, we have a Session Pale Ale, and we have a Tramway Rye Pale Ale, which is kind of our version of an IPA. It's about 70 IBU. It's where we get hoppy, we don't get all the time.
Yeah.
And then my job, I feel, is to fill out the rest of the board. We can serve about 14 beers at a time. I try to keep 10 to 12 on.
Yeah.
Just operationally wise, moving beer around, it's easier to have a little freeway. So when I'm looking at what I'm going to do next, what I want, I'm always trying to kind of spread out that board as far as flavor profiles and kind of fill in gaps and do different things and interesting things.
Sure, and it's working.
Yeah, but also kind of generally doing that with classic styles, not necessarily trying to recreate the wheel. There's a lot of really good wheels out there already that people should be introduced to. So
excellent.
That's why we have the Common and the Vienna Lager. We do.
Yeah, I've got those on my list to try tonight too.
We do bitters and milds and
thank you
Czech Lager.
Yes, please.
JP really is moving to this town. Moving to Philipsburg.
You said you had a Session Pale Ale.
Yeah,
I want to know more about that.
Okay, yeah, we have some.
Hang on,
here.
though. You got
that later.
Okay, yeah, you got to answer it after the break. I got to get us to a quick break. You're all right, but we do have something to try. What's it called? The Session Pale.
Oh, did you bring?
Oh, that's our otter water. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that was. Yeah.
Okay. We'll make sure we get to it.
We're
going to try to have.
I sent a lot of beer. I'm kind of.
No, we
overdo things sometimes.
That's okay.
So
That's all right.
Throw as much beer at you guys as I can.
You did fine. We're all going to take it home and drink it. We can only have 3 pints here in the studio, so we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Philipsburg Brewing Company's Ben Johnson. We got to try some more beer. 888-401-BEER if you want to call in, or I think JP's in the chat room. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com. Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American meat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
This is Matt Brynolson from Firestone Walker Brewing Company, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Welcome back to the program. As always, thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks to our guest, Ben. He's still with us here. And thanks to White Labs. You can go to whitelabs.com/thevault and check it out if you haven't seen it. It's White Labs' collection of specialty one-of-a-kind strains where you're able to pre-order and decide which strains are released to homebrewers. White Labs has added 20 new specialty strains into the vault right now, with other strains to be added throughout the year. So all you have to do is visit whitelabs.com/thevault and place a pre-order on the strain you like. Once it reaches 150 orders, White Labs will release the yeast and ship it directly to your doorstep. And there's good news for pro brewers. If you want access to any of the vault strains for your next brew day, just place a minimum order of 1.5 liters through yeastman.com or by contacting a customer service representative, and you'll get access to their unique specialty strains too. whitelabs.com/thevault. And thanks for all your support to White Labs over the years. We love you very, very much. All right, so we're still talking to Philipsburg Brewing Company's Ben Johnson. He's the head taproom brewer over there. And when he's not avoiding getting eaten by bears, he's brewing some of the great beers we've gotten to try tonight.
And eating bears.
Have you ever eaten bear?
I have not.
You haven't eaten bear yet?
Get out.
Because, you're allowed to kill them if
I
they're...
shouldn't admit that.
No.
Now I'm not going to be able to come back to town.
Yeah. No, they're going to be like, that's Ben. He's never had bear.
Oh, look, it's the non-bear eater.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, they'll bring over a bunch of bear chili. And stuff.
That's going to happen now.
You're actually going to be bombarded with bear casserole. Your fridge will be full by the time you get home.
That could be worse.
Oh, by the way, how goddamn cold is it there right now?
When I left, it was 40 degrees.
Whoa, that's warm.
Yeah, I can handle that. Barely, but I can handle it.
Barely. I'd be the guy walking 50 degrees. I'd be wearing bear skin. I'd be doing the whole thing, the whole frontiersman.
And you would be that guy in town.
Right.
You're the one they would make fun of.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you mean old bear skin Jip?
Right.
Yeah.
And he would rarely leave the house, so people would get to make fun of him a lot.
Yeah. Well, the hermit's out.
Right, yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. I'm hanging out with the drunks. You're hanging out with the hermits.
Do they hang out together?
No.
Oh, okay.
We Skype.
Yeah.
We Skype. It's fine.
All right. Well, I want to jump right back into the beer, if that's okay.
Splash.
We've got what you described as an American-style Hefeweizen in our glass right now. It's the Haybag Hef, 5.5% ABV. And I like that you mentioned that it's I always like people to distinguish I know it sounds obvious, but the American Hef or the German Hef.
Completely different things. If you'll be surprised if you.
I can handle an American Hef. The German Hef is, I'm sure someone could describe it better than me, but for my palate, it's just so much more estery. It's so much more of the clove, bubble gum. Yeah.
In the German one.
In the German one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Whereas an American Hef, which could also just be called an American wheat sometimes.
Yeah, we went in light American wheat with yeast.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it is in the
What's the yeast that you use in this, for example?
We use Kolsch.
A Kolsch yeast. So there you go. So even that distinction right there, a cleaner, less estery. Yeah. Although Kolsch would be more estery than say just a
Chico or
the Chico yeast. Okay.
Now the Kolsch yeast would typically keep yeast in suspension. You do something different to make that happen?
No, it actually is low flocking, so
this
it does stay up.
One?
Yeah. We use the Kolsch 2 from Y Yeast, which is I forget the number, but 2575 or something like that. So I'm definitely wrong, but
it keeps it in there like you want it to be.
Yeah, it stays up nicely for us. This comes out of our production brewery. We have a centrifuge there, so Mike's really able to dial in the level of yeast that he wants in it.
Yeah. So he will still run it through the centrifuge.
Yeah, but not.
Oh, that's interesting.
You set it to where you want it.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I guess everybody does. I just never really thought about it. I thought it was either you leave it that way or you run it through a centrifuge.
No, it recycles it back. Like, that's not good enough. Send it back through.
That's crazy. Technology.
These kids.
What temperature do you ferment this yeast at?
We ferment at 64 degrees with us.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I would have guessed.
Yeah. I heard you calculate.
Just go put your bear hat back on.
All right, I'll do it. Where is it?
Okay, so you bet that's a little chilly for a half or a Kolsch.
Kolsch, that's on the warm side.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, Kolsch ferments kind of
But
lagerishy.
that way you get a little bit of esters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So get a little bit of ester expression, but not a ton.
I don't forget the Kolsch character. For
Yeah.
sure. It's a hazy Kolsch, basically. To me.
That's true.
Yeah.
What's the malt bill like?
Malt bill is we use about 35 or 40% malted white wheat in it.
Okay.
A little C40 and very little C15, I think, in it as well, and just two rows base.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is crystal malt is common for American wheat style like that?
To be honest, I don't know. Mike wrote the recipe.
Okay.
But he has he cut his teeth. He's from Oregon, Klamath Falls, and he cut his teeth brewing. He went to Oregon State fermentation program there, and
put that there. You go.
Sorry, I'm soft spoken. He cut his teeth brewing at McMiniman's in Portland.
I see.
At Edgefield and Columbia on the river.
I like those places.
But he has a buddy who works at Widmer. So he Widmer gives a fair amount of information about what's just in their beer.
Yeah.
You know? So before he started, he kind of put the recipe together and sent it to his buddy.
Got it.
And his buddy said, I can't say anything.
But
I can't say anything, but here's the recipe sheet.
Yeah, but he said it was all right, and we've done. I didn't change the recipe at all when I started brewing it, and we've continued to do well. I mean, the first year the brewery got a silver at the North American Brewers Association for this beer over Widmer, and the gold we got at Best of Craft Beer Awards was over Widmer as well.
Okay. I would say it's Widmer-ish. I drank my fair share of Widmer back in the day without all the milkiness that I feel like Widmer had. You know, they really went for that, the keg upside down, and which I guess anybody could do, but boy, was that a milky beer afterwards. So this is kind of lacking that. It's a little thinner. Tasty, what do you think? Or Beardy, anybody? Crystal malt in it? I'm actually not saying anything against it. I just don't know if I don't remember ever hearing it.
Well, I don't taste a lot of that, but Ben was kind of implying there's not very much. Right?
I see.
A little bit of it.
Yeah. It's now 20 pounds maybe.
Yeah.
Total.
This
Out of
the big brewery or the
50-pound batch out of my
And they're temper.
A hint of a light crystal malt, 50 or less.
Yeah.
I see in a lot of recipes for like a lighter wheat.
Okay.
Beer. If you're going more the Belgian side, you see it less. I kind of see it more in the American wheat category. Then so Belgian and kind of Europeans typically leave the crystal malt out.
I see. And then this style, the American wheat might have some.
Put a little bit of the light crystal in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think it adds, Beardy?
I think it kind of cuts instead of it being like a raw doughiness, it adds a little bit more melanoidin complexity to the beer that kind of bridges the gap between the doughy wheat character and the barley malt character. And I enjoy it. Like in the wheat at Loma, I put in half a sack in a 10-barrel batch of Weirmann's Cara Red, which is like a C15, basically.
Okay. Got it.
Do that. Yeah.
And they call that an American wheat as well?
Yes, I call it an American wheat also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I use Chico yeast. I don't use a Hef yeast in that beer.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like your choice of Kolsch yeast. Give it just a little more of an estery profile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a nice
I like
beer.
This beer.
Thank you.
You're doing well so far, Ben. You keep it up in here.
Right.
We got more to try. So,
trying my best.
What is the next beer in our glass? I think we have Don't Call Me Honey. And this beer has a great story behind it, too, right? You guys are into supporting not only the community, but different organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really stoked about this beer, especially since we just won the gold for it, Best Craft Beer Awards. We brewed this in collaboration with the Pink Boot Society in Montana.
Cool. Yeah.
So our sales rep, Maddie Mason, actually won a trip to Germany on a $10 raffle with the Pink Boot Society.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good investment.
Yeah.
Good move.
She's pretty good at the raffles. She's got skills.
Nice.
So we're really excited about, helping support that. And when they were thinking about doing a brew, we were more than happy to host it. So we had around 30 women from the brewing industry from all over the state come up to the brewery and brew this beer with us.
That's a lot.
Mike helped tweak the grain bill on our standard saison recipe, and Maddie worked with a friend of hers who's into, I guess, botany, spices and herbs and stuff like that. So we ended up doing a honey sage saison, and then while we were up there brewing, all the women had an opportunity to help, mill in or mash in or add the honey to the brew, and they all actually helped choose the spicing for the beer. So Maddie laid out a whole array of different spices that they decided on what it was going to be. So we used honey, local honey, 50 pounds of local honey. We used sage. We used pink peppercorns and angelica in this beer.
Angelica, what is that?
Angelica is, from my understanding, like a wild celery root. To me, it kind of gaps kind of sharp anise and celery kind of together. Kind of, it was interesting. I never heard of it, or just like you guys are seeing it before, and it was a nice little note.
So they sat around a big table and sort of had all these spices available, and they did some tinctures or
just
something?
Nosed them, and then combined them, and they said, "This is what we want to have in the beer." So I put it in the beer. So,
nice.
What does Angelica look like? That
She's
you use
blonde.
In the brewery? Don't call her honey though.
Never do
not. Yeah.
I'd say it looks kind of like anise a little bit.
So
It was chopped up.
Okay.
Yeah, it was chopped, but yeah.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Dried root, kind of sliced root. Yeah.
I love the name.
And Maddie named the beer.
It's a great name.
So.
Yeah.
Can I just say that I actually still cringe out in public places when dudes are like, "Excuse me, honey, could you just," or "Thanks, honey," or
well, saying it to you, it's weird.
Yeah, I cringe every time.
Yeah. You're like, me too, bro.
And I turn around and they're like, "Oh, sorry."
With the hair and the things. Right.
And then they're like, "Sorry, baby."
Don't call chicks broads.
Right. Great name, good beer.
Yeah, it's a very. I don't think I've had a beer like this.
Really,
it's a very unique tasting beer.
Mm-hmm. With the sage. And the Angelica.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know that I've ever had Angelica before.
But I do get like the celery reference.
Yeah.
That's why I was
between
the sage and once you said it was kind of in between celery root.
Yeah.
It made sense. It's like, okay, so that's Angelica.
Yeah.
Nice little, the pepper is it stays on your palate. Just a little bit of
it's almost
spicy
like
heat right there.
Spearminty winter grain. It's almost like a mint thing.
I think
it's the sage and the kind of peppery spicy. It's just this maybe like a winter green, very lightly though.
A light, yeah. Which is why I like the heat. Maybe that's helping with that out. Yeah,
like a prickly. Yeah, that's good.
Beav, we're going to need another beer this segment, I think.
Yeah, let's go,
because we just got back and we've gotten through 2, and we've got a lot more to
thirsty.
try. Well, because Ben was so kind to bring us so much. I kind of want to try the Freude, which is a Vienna lager. Freude.
Okay.
Can we try that?
Yeah.
And while we're waiting on that beer, I wanted to talk about your packaging a little bit too.
Whoa,
Ben, you
stand up and
show
it off.
You've got a nice package there at the brewery. And I think I read that you guys are some of the only craft brewer to use this packaging.
Yeah,
what is so basically? I'm looking and I can hold it up to the camera. I don't know what camera Bevo has on right now, but it's an aluminum can, but it's not your regular pop top or whatever. It's a screw top, but it's also not like the thin, long like Bud Light ones either. It's a substantial can here. It's a pint can.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's a Lumentech from Ball.
Okay.
And we are the only craft brewer that uses that as our main production vessel. So
who else would normally use it? Somebody must be if they're producing it like that.
Oh, Miller Coors.
Oh, okay. So this is like
a ton of Miller Coors filled with that. Yeah.
I love this format. I don't want to use a glass with this. And literally every other packaging I find, of course, I'm pouring it into a glass. Which is I'm not saying it's a pain in the ass or anything. I just mean this one, you just want to crack it open and drink it.
Right.
To be more than a can with the tap top.
And it's got a big enough hole that you can actually smell the beer versus like a bottleneck.
Right. It's got the wide mouth, so that you can really... Yeah, my whole nose fits in there.
Right. Now I don't want any more.
That's good. There's one that's unopened.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a wonderful package for us. It's a little more expensive, a little more difficult to work with, obviously, than standard cans.
I was going to ask,
I didn't even think about that on the filling side.
Right, is it a special bottling line? Bottling equipment to do that?
Standard bottling equipment, but the seaming, putting the caps on, is specialized. So the caps are actually blanks, and they're seamed down onto the bottle.
Oh, interesting. It's crimped on around it.
Yeah.
Instead of screwed on.
Yep, it's twisted down on and creates the seams. Wow. And then it forces beer up through the vents on the top, which we then have to rinse that beer out of before we send it out. So,
interesting.
Yeah, we had Nolan Smith and Mike and those guys up there on the production side did a lot of really good work trying to figure out exactly how to make this work. And that's also probably why only the big guys use it for the production, because it's water intensive. It's a little bit difficult. It's not standardized stuff. So,
got it.
But we are super happy to have it because it works perfectly for our market. That goes great on the rivers. I go skiing with those. Put them in your jacket.
Oh yeah.
Open it up. Take a couple sips while you're going up the lift. Close it back down. Go down.
Sure.
The hill.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, I didn't even think about the resealable part.
Yeah.
Open it up. Pound the shit out of it. Puke on the lift on the way up.
Break a rib on the way down.
Buy a guy a new hat.
I mean, you're right. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's aluminum. It won't break in your pocket when you fall.
Yeah, stab you in the heart.
Or wrap yourself around a tree.
I think it's how Sonny Bono died.
Yeah.
He had a bottle in his pocket. He hit a tree.
I think you're right. That's why I stopped skiing.
Smart.
That's why.
This is going to get you back on the lifts.
I think it might. Yeah.
Shit.
Can you keep a steady supply of these coming to me, Ben?
We can work some now.
Get me back on the lift there.
Bunny Slip's calling your name.
Now, not all of your beers come in this packaging.
No, we only package 3 beers in that.
Okay.
That package. So we do the Haybag Hefeweizen, we do our Otter Water Session Pale Ale, and we do our Tramway Rye Pale Ale, which is, as we talked about, kind of our version of an IPA.
Got it.
So that's your best-selling beer, the rye?
No, the Haybag Hefeweizen by far is our bestseller.
In package as well.
In package as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mike was going over it. It's a very surprising beer for us. It sells.
Those are sold in 4-packs. Those 16 ounce.
Yep, 4-packs. Uh-huh. Yeah, 16 ounce.
Nice.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, now we've got your Vienna Lager on here, which you've also won a medal for.
Yes. So this just won. This one is silver.
Okay.
Best of craft beer awards.
I only drink gold medal.
My notes say you won a gold.
Oh wait, no, we did win a gold.
You golded it.
There we
Don't
go.
sell yourself short, Ben.
There we go.
Sorry, guys.
You wear it proud.
So many medals, it's hard to keep track.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. Own it. 5.2% ABV. So we're actually, I think, at least me, JP, and Tasty, I'm sure, and Beardy, I'm sure Tasty doesn't mind. The three of us love a good Vienna Lager.
Yes.
We're always looking for a great style.
5.2 is a bit strong for me.
Is it? Getting a little wild.
It's pushing the high side of the
What would you like to see it at?
I mean, to me, it just depends how it tastes.
Sure.
But for the BJCP defined style, that's pushing the high side, actually, for the category.
What is it, 5.4 is the cap?
At the highest, it would be 5.5. It's somewhere in the low fives is the upper limit.
Yeah. So still within, but at the high end.
Oh, yeah. I think it's within, but it's pushing it.
Okay.
God damn it, Ben.
I'm wild. I'm crazy.
I'm getting drunk right now. I just sipped it.
Hammered.
I really like this one, too. What is the yeast that you use in here? Because to me, now Vienna should be somewhat malt-driven, right? Mm-hmm. But, of course, it's still a lager. Yep. And to me, on this one, the yeast is standing out quite a bit.
Yeah, this one we used our Czech Pilsner yeast on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So...
and the malt bill, what does that look like?
Malt bill, let me try and pull that up here.
It's a little small grain. Some are multicolored.
Yeah, some are, roasted a little bit more than others.
Right. Yeah, you pick them out one by one.
And it's just in a big pile.
But about 500 pounds at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Two-row, mostly Vienna and some Munich, and just a touch of Black Prince to get color where we want it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No flavor there, really. It's just kind of...
Yeah. It's 5 pounds in the whole.
And hops? You using German hops?
Hops we're using Tet.
Tet, okay.
Yep.
I really like this beer, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's interesting because even with that alcohol level, I would then think that maybe it was super dried out. But it's not. It still has the malt backbone that I want in a Vienna lager.
Yeah. What's the IBUs on this beer?
IBUs are 25 or 30.
25?
Yeah, 25, I think. Yeah.
Pretty low.
I think the Czech yeast helps kind of crisp it up a little bit compared to a different lager strain that might leave it a bit more rounded and malt focused.
Yeah.
And so, given that bitterness, I think the yeast characters definitely help crisp it up and dry it up really nicely.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this beer.
This one's not in a can?
No.
I want this one in a can, damn it.
Yeah, right.
Sure, dude, yeah.
Yeah, this one.
This was a special brew.
Okay. Well, in the future,
so
think about it, because I would
yeah.
buy 4 packs of this all day long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
when you cut me off for my 3 pints.
It kind of... I forget, somebody asked me to brew something, so I put that together. And... it's for Craft Beer Week, so...
Oh, okay.
Miranda, our taproom manager, was asking to see if we could get, put something on new for Craft Beer Week, so...
Yeah.
I was brewing some of our Czech Pilsner, so I kind of wrote that and put that in.
Got it.
And came out really well. We're really happy with it, or at least I am. And I think I'll probably continue brewing it. Vorfreude is German for the distinct joy of anticipating future pleasures.
Wow, look at you.
So we brought that out in May. And we bring it back out at kind of in November, kind of so like in May everyone's kind of ready for summer,
right?
Everyone's anticipating summer, and then in November everyone's anticipating the holidays and winter to actually really settle in and do our winter activities as well. So that's kind of where I see it's fitting into our schedule going forward.
With your naming, you're a bit like the Rare Barrel guys here, who we make fun of, except you're able to do it in a succinct manner. In other words, the Rare Barrel would have called this beer "The Joy of Anticipating the Coming of Summer."
Yes, for sure.
That would have been the name.
Yeah.
Whereas Ben just goes "Vorfreude."
Yeah.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah.
It's better.
It's in the backstory, not on the freaking label.
Yes, that's all the things.
Which is also weird to have a German word mean so many things, but very small.
The Germans are, well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, they like to cram them together.
Yeah, right. That's
they
true.
are very good at having words for everything.
One word for everything.
For an emotionalist.
Conversations are great in German. Vorfreude? Yeah. We just talked about the summer and everything we're going to do this summer.
Right. Very bleak. I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Now, it sounds... Who's the name of the head brewer who's in the...
Mike Elliott.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Mike is somewhat jealous of your job, because it sounds like you get to do all of these cool, hey, we need one for Beer Week, we need one for this. You get to do all these fun one-offs. And if I were you, if Mike invited me hunting, I wouldn't go. Because I'm sure he's having a great time, but you sound like you have a great gig over there where you get to do all the cool styles.
I love it. I mean, Mike got to do it for 2 years before I came along. And, And the downside is our brewery is very open. And it's a very small brewery. I was at Anchor yesterday in their open tap room, and if you've seen their kind of pilot system in there where it's just like an open railing right next to the brewery, that's what we have in our tap room. So I'll be in the hot, I'll be knocking out, I'll be in the hot back. People will be walk up and say, hey, before you get too busy, what are you doing here? What's that?
Yeah.
So it takes some patience. It takes some patience. It takes, it's not for everyone.
Right.
As a home brewer, I always brewed with friends and brewed for people who didn't know how to brew and, kind of welcome that opportunity to talk about beer and the beer brewing process. So, I'm always cognizant of, to take a beat to talk and answer questions for anybody that comes up. But
which is all fine and good unless like you have to run to do something.
Exactly.
So you also have to balance that with a very cordial, excuse me, I got to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. That could get rough.
I mean, Mike gets to brew up on the 50-barrel brew house where he's by himself.
Right.
Yeah. He gets a forklift to move all his grains around. He's got rakes in the mash tun that get all the grain
see, I might
out.
have it backwards.
Yeah.
Mike,
I think you do.
If Ben invites you hunting,
right,
I wouldn't go.
Here, Mike, wear this coat. Why does it look like a bear? Just don't worry about it. Go off about 50 yards.
In those bushes.
And
Go
then,
rawr.
And then run at me.
Hold up your hands real high and go rawr.
Sprint in my direction.
Yeah. I think I did have this backwards.
How seriously have you thought about using part of your salary to pay for a glass wall to be built?
No. I like it being open. I don't want it to be glassed off.
It's pretty cool that it's
I think
open.
it's unique. I think people like coming to the brewery. I do enjoy having that opportunity to have that interaction with someone.
And he knows him anyway, Warren.
Yeah, and someone who has that kind of experience at our brewery will always remember it and will hopefully patronize us in many other ways.
And it must be a lot of tourists that are doing it, because you've already talked to all the locals, and so they're done with you.
Well, no,
they
but
know
they're
what you're doing.
They're the ones that will talk to him for 20 minutes while he's trying to knock out.
There is that. Yeah.
So what you doing there?
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, all the steam. It looks hot.
Yeah.
Hey, can you make me one with peaches in it right now, please?
Yeah, right now.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I brought you these peaches.
When's that ready? Oh, that's so nice.
Well, I hope that doesn't end up getting on your nerves, that you're able to just enjoy that experience, because it is cool that it's wide open.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to dozens and dozens and dozens of breweries, and it's kind of pretty unique. And I like it, and I think it's probably, I'm not a lawyer, so it's probably a huge liability in some ways. If I were a lawyer, I'd be worried about it. Yeah, so you've got to be on your game. You got to know, when you're throwing valves, what's going on and where things are connected and things like that.
Right.
So, actually, the funny thing is, one of our lead brewers, Ryan, it wasn't a mistake, but he was in the brewery before he became a brewer for us, and one of our hoses broke. And he got doused with cold water.
Oh, cold at least. Lucky.
Yes. Yeah. Thankfully, it was cold water.
Yeah.
And about a year later, he applied for a job.
Yeah. So.
And now he's doing a great job. He brewed with me for about a year, and he moved up to the production brewery, and he's brewing up there.
Right.
Doing a really good job.
Well, he probably went to the lawyer/school teacher in town and was like, "Hey, do I have a case with this cold water thing?" And
they're like, "I don't know. Let me deliver the mail, and we'll see." I'll talk to you after.
We're such dicks sometimes. This town's going to hate us. And I'm sure I would love this town.
In my mind,
people's not very many.
In my mind, everyone's gathering in the town square, and they're putting this on the live stream, and they're broadcasting it. Like 5 people donated sheets to use as a screen. Yeah. And they're projecting it on, and the whole town is like cheering on Ben, and then they're booing us.
It's
JP,
not the town square.
Just so you know, we are having a which party at the brewery.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
you're seeing me crying, laughing at JP's, and then deliver the mail truck, which is the funniest thing I've heard you say in a long time.
I was imagining the whole town in the public library around the one computer, listening to
the
it.
modem.
Phyllis, I apologize.
They dialed up.
Listen, we feel horrible about our own lives, and so it makes us feel better.
They're jealous.
We're jealous.
Pretty much, man. I tell you what, I've always wanted to live in a small town where it snows at Christmas. I imagine it looks pretty cool at Christmas.
It's amazing. I mean,
that's what I want.
There are a lot of kind of I don't know, pinch me moments are the right thing to say, but there's some really amazing. There are really amazing people in our town, and we have a Yule night where we have a lighted parade. People go up and downtown.
Bevo, you can't see her on camera, but her heart is melting back there.
All the businesses are open and have food and wine and different things like that.
That's so cool, dude.
On Christmas Eve, there's lights on a pine tree in town, and every kid gets a gift basket. We work to make sure that they're toys and gifts for them. For every kid in town. So come and sit on Santa's lap, and
that's really cool.
It's
you
pretty
can
wild.
visit because they want to beat your ass for making fun of them.
For sure.
So
and also, he's selling it so much harder. I already looked up real estate. I can afford to live there. Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
You can afford your double wide lot there.
Oh, I can afford
By the way, that's not a Philipsburg joke. That's a Bevo joke.
That's a Bevo joke. Yeah, no, that's my jam.
Craves.
No, I can afford a real house.
With 4 bedrooms.
With 4
but you don't
bedrooms.
want a real house.
Well, no.
You've always wanted.
No. You're confused.
She wants her house.
I can afford a double wide here.
Oh, I see. That's what I got.
I wouldn't
about.
mind having an actual house.
Oh, I thought you actually
with
had
like a foundation
thing for,
and shit.
Right. Yeah.
But
Okay.
a fireplace would be cool.
Well, if you,
and like a porch.
I think we've lost Bevo to Philipsburg. Ben.
She gone.
Are you driving back? Because she might. Just throw
Actually,
stuff in
Sam
there.
is doing some work in Montana later on this year, and I wanted to
Really?
go with him anyway.
Oh, there you go.
Well, now
I wouldn't.
We
wear
were debating
I
on whether
wouldn't-
to drive or fly, and now we're driving.
I wouldn't wear a Brewing Network shirt if I were you.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry.
Hey, isn't that the people on the radio? Get her!
Those assholes. All right, I got to get us to another quick
Jokes.
break,
Just
and then
jokes.
we've got another couple beers to try too. A common, and then. Actually, there's a bunch on my list that's not even in front of me, so we'll get a couple more beers in. We got our Twitter game to do.
By the way, here's Tom Brady open-mouth kissing his son.
Oh, why do you have to show me that? Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection. With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out. What? Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love. With love? Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where? Moylan's. You gotta try it. On tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're friggin' awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers!
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe and until we're able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com, also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Brewcasters are back.
888-401-BEER.
Whatever.
All right, welcome back to the show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. We got a couple more beers to try and a couple more things to do. So, Ben, thanks right now for hanging out with us tonight and bringing all this great beer we've been trying tonight.
Thanks.
We haven't had a bad one yet, so that's good.
Ooh,
and if we did, we would have told you, too.
I know.
There's two more.
We've got room to go.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately for you, the next one is a California Common, so tough beer to hide anything behind. But we're going to try your Flint Creek Common, which is in our glass
which is
right
the
now.
darker
I'm guessing
of the
it's
two,
the
right?
darker
Yes.
one?
Yeah. The slightly darker one.
Okay. Let's try that first. And then, what is the other beer I chose to try? The Session...
Otter Water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Session Pale. All right, so the darker one is the Common. Otherwise known as a steam beer, right? But no one's allowed to do that.
That is correct.
No one's allowed to call it that. Oh, it smells
that's
great.
a Japanese beer style now.
Yes.
Is it steam beer?
Yeah.
Really?
Sapporo.
Well, because
Oh, that's
Sapporo
right. Yeah,
bought
sorry.
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That one missed me.
That went over the head.
Yeah. Good call. Oh, it smells great.
It does, yeah.
I haven't tried it yet. But
Was there like a biscuit malt or something in there?
No, we just use C40, Munich, and some carrot
Munich.
pills.
Is that Munich then?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little sweet because of that Munich.
But there's a full roundness in the mid palate that's not presented in kind of any other beers in this style, which I really like.
What hops do you use?
Northern Brewer.
Really?
Exclusively,
Okay.
yeah.
It's a pretty mild representation to me of Northern Brewer. Like, to me, in a lot of other examples, it's more aggressive.
Yeah, it's not super
which I'm
dry and
enjoying
minty.
this.
Yeah.
Where it's more toned back and
Yeah.
restrained.
Me too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't think of it as a steam beer, but I love the hell out of this beer.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's delicious.
Is there another style you think it falls under?
I think like a lighter amber ale.
Okay.
To be honest, I mean, I think the yeast characteristic isn't super there, but if
The
it sits
amber
in your mouth
lager?
a little bit, yeah, maybe something like that, like an alt beer, maybe. I don't know.
Not quite malty enough for that.
No,
Jim.
no,
Now
but-
you're going crazy.
But I said maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
sort of, kind of, like a mild alt amber lager. Shut up!
A session alt
Your
beer?
Your BJCP certification is on the line right now.
Well, actually,
I'm only
he just
recognized,
invented another dumb style for to take the craft beer
go.
world by storm.
Let's do it.
Session alt.
American session alt.
Yeah, yeah.
This would be it.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It
I
has
do
that, like I said, that mid palate kind of almost roastiness, but there's that sweet kind of grainy thing in there too that a lot of beers today don't have.
Yeah,
and which bothers me. A lot of the times that beers are now coming out where it's just foundation base malt and hops.
Yeah,
and brewers think that that's a fucking beer. That's a homebrew experiment. That is not a beer.
Yeah.
We need some body. I don't care
Some
what style it is. You need some depth to it, and this definitely has that.
I agree. In fact, I like it quite a bit better than that Japanese brewery. I don't want to name any names.
Yeah. It's a damn good steam.
Future sponsors, you never know.
Exactly. You don't ever know.
They'll never hear this.
No.
But
Well, we don't speak Japanese.
I would open this one many more times than I would open the other one. I like it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Ben, what you used at what temp?
We use California Common Yeast.
Really?
Wow. Very traditional.
Yeah. This is kind of really down the line. I think the one thing that I did do is I kind of pulled some of the lightened it up. You know, as far as color and some of the specialty malts in it. Originally, this is the second recipe I wrote, and it was in the summer, so I made it like a summer common. So I just kind of lightened it up, made it a lot easier to drink.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people ask me what my favorite beer is, and I kind of say, like my children. This is one of my favorite beers.
Okay.
Because you drink it to brew during the day.
Yeah, you can drink it. It's just so drinkable.
It really is.
Like it hits a little bit of everything.
It's
a little bit of malt, a little bit of hop.
Is that a Northern Brewer thing?
Yeah.
Nobody else gets citrus?
No, I don't get it.
Nothing?
No,
You're broken.
a little.
No, don't defend him. He's broken.
I might be broken.
Well, no. To me,
What's the
Northern
characteristics of Northern Brewer? Yeah.
To me, one of the first things that come to mind is actually kind of like harsh and aggressive, like old school pine. Like not before dank was a thing. It was just kind of like aggressive pine flavor and just rough around the edges. I could see it in this low amount.
Yeah,
you could kind of get a hint of citrus. But
maybe
still,
it's actually pine that
it
I'm
might
tasting.
be pine.
Maybe not citrus, but like if you eat like Douglas fir needles as a kid,
right?
Like the evergreen.
Who did that?
He said maybe
you can because they're evergreens and I think it's Doug fir, right? They're kind of you can chew on them.
They are an evergreen.
Yeah, but I think those are the needles that you can specifically like chew and you're not going to get sick. Anyway,
I don't know.
Maybe it's something like that where there's kind of the piney thing, but maybe a little bit of high acid, and maybe that's what you're getting as citrus. I don't know.
Could be.
Were these German or American?
American.
Cool.
I believe American.
Typically would have more pine character. How many IBUs, and where did you add those?
About 30.
And a lot of it's at the beginning?
No. It's kind of a little bit slightly less at the boil, and then 30, and then hop back for the additions. Yeah.
And do you ferment pretty cold or pitch a lot of yeast in order to get
try and pitch a lot of yeast?
Okay.
And ferment warm. I mean, California Common Yeast ferments like 65 around. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's kind of where 65 to 68.
Yeah.
66 is kind of where I set it, I think.
Cooler for the ales, but yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
Might be my favorite beer so far tonight.
I would agree.
It's an easy drinker.
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
Yeah, that's a good beer.
Thank you.
All right, and now Beardy had mentioned earlier that he wanted to try your session pale ale.
I was mainly curious
at the style.
Wondering if it's like a sub 4% beer.
It's 4.5.
4.5. Okay. So how is it different than? Why didn't you call it a session IPA then?
Because it isn't quite hopped like an IPA. It's mostly late, but it's. I don't think it's as aggressive. The bitterness we throw. In my brewery, we throw about 8 ounces of nugget in at the boil, and then everything's 20 minutes or later.
Okay.
So
that's really good.
And what kind of IBUs does that end up being?
Super malt forward.
Yeah.
Like 30 to 40?
Yeah, around 40, I think. Sorry.
It's
getting a little lost on the numbers here.
That's all right.
It's like a hop-flavored malt soda. And I mean that in the best context possible.
It'll look like a cream soda type of.
Yeah, because a lot of breweries, especially on here on the West Coast, try to do these kinds of things. And well, I mean, I guess I said it before. It's just base malt and so much bitterness and so much hop flavor because they think they're reinventing the wheel, and it comes out muddled and either too aggressive or too sharp, too obtuse. And this is not that. This is actually everything that the session IPAs on the West Coast should aspire to, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not bitter enough for an IPA, but you get the point.
Yeah.
It's the flavors there. There's actually malt. There's actually a body to it.
Yeah.
There's malt flavor. You can taste the malt in it, for God's sakes. The hops are there. It's really good. This is my favorite beer.
This one just surpassed the last one.
Absolutely.
The common.
And I'm not just, blowing smoke. This is a very good beer. I really enjoy this.
I don't disagree with your description. There's some malt sweetness to it. And then the hops actually just kind of barely creep in.
It's flavor.
Just to,
I mean, for me, they come through pretty good, but it's all flavor. There's not a whole lot of bitters. Kind of it's a cantaloupe melon thing for me. It's delightful. I would hunt bears drinking this. For sure. Absolutely.
Wow, you got a delightful from Jason Petros.
I would also deliver
that might not have happened in the last several years.
Yeah.
I would deliver mail drinking this.
After tasting it, I definitely agree with the Session Pale Ale label versus the Session IPA.
I would agree.
Yeah,
it's got all the body of a pale ale, and it's got the balance of a pale ale as well.
I had a pale ale tonight that didn't have as much body as this.
Right.
So that's telling you something.
And for 4.5%.
I think it's still in my glass, actually.
Well, that's why I can be hopped up like that. It's good for all the body that's able to bounce it against.
This is good, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, this is really good.
That's your recipe there?
No, that's Mike's. That's Mike's. Mike Elliott's one of his.
Get Mike on the phone. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm here.
How do we get stuck with you, Ben?
So what's the finishing gravity?
Yeah.
Finishing gravity, we usually finish around probably around 10.4, 104, 105.
Oh, yeah, real dry.
Real dry.
Yeah.
Even on this beer?
Yep.
That's good.
What are you said Nugget was the bittering.
And then it's exclusively Chinook. All late hop Chinook. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it's a 20, a 10, and hopback editions.
No dry hopping?
No dry hopping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is another great ferment. All your beers have been fermented,
clean.
very good, clean, very well fermented beers.
That's true. You guys have a lab or anything, or you just really pay attention to your pitches?
We have a microscope.
Okay.
My pitches.
Hey, that's a lab. But you do pay attention with your microscope. You go in there and you do cell counts.
We do a count, and we keep an eye on attenuation and kind of generations and kind of where fermentation's going as far as when we're going to get a new pitch in, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Well, like Tasty's saying, you're doing good work there.
Thank you.
Really clean.
Are there any adjuncts in this beer, or is it all
Nope,
barley?
it's two row and some Vienna. That's it.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, people could brew more of that.
Yeah.
More styles like that.
Yeah, it's great, and I mean the name kind of says it. Otter water, out on the rivers in the summertime. You're rafting and fishing in Montana. It's, people love
You guys have otters?
There are otters. Beef, there are otters.
The final nail in the coffin for Bevo at the Brewing
take
Network.
me with you.
She's out of here.
It's the school mascot, Silly.
Please don't offer her a job. I need her so bad.
We could use a sales rep.
No, I don't know what I'd do without her. Everything would fall apart.
Look, this is the nicest thing Justin's ever said to me.
Because I finally fear you leaving.
Right.
I'm like,
it's getting real right now.
Yeah, as soon as I'm certain they're not going to offer you a job, I'll go right back to treating you like shit.
Yeah, we may be expanding. We could use maybe a second sales rep.
Stop. March you right out of here.
Very nice how you probably could sell things wonderfully.
No, she can't. She's horrible. Yeah. She can't do anything. She's a mess. All right. Wonderful beers that we tried. And then just real quick, I wanted to mention, because you got like a Thursday night thing that you guys do at the pub too, where you're really trying to give back to local, to the community.
Yeah. Kind of as we were talking before, because of the strange laws around breweries, because we're only open till 8, because we're only allowed to serve 48 ounces, breweries have kind of default become community centers, and especially in a small town especially a small town like Philipsburg, people know that they can bring their children, they know they can come, and they're not going to worry about someone being a little belligerent or fights or anything coming out.
Because I haven't moved there.
For now.
For now.
You're not a dive bar.
Yeah.
You don't serve food, but you can still have kids in there?
Yep. Kids and dogs are welcome. You can bring food in from any of the other restaurants in town.
That's cool.
There's some snacks, and sometimes we'll do like Taco Tuesday for donations and things like that. And Thursday nights, we do a pint night. So every Thursday night, $1 from every beer sold.
Right.
From 5 to 8 goes to a local charity.
Oh, that's killer.
Changes every week.
And back in the day, that would have been $25. But now it's, when you guys planned the thing, you would have given $25 a week.
Yeah.
But now that you're
it's
such a
significantly
success.
more than $25.
Good. Well, that's great. And a lot of craft breweries do that, but not even.
We're not alone.
Honestly, though, many not to that extent. I mean,
it's a local charity. It has probably a pretty significant impact.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, as we were talking kind of off air, it's, in a town that size, you have to step up. No one else is going to do it.
Yeah. Nobody knows you're there. You got to be your own.
Although you got to help each other out.
Yeah.
So.
And then on top of that, getting to see the result directly, I think, is really cool, too. You're not sending it off to a faraway place where you hope it went to the place you sent it.
Yeah, you know Jim, who needs some help.
Which is super cool. Yeah. I hope you're doing all right, Jim.
Jim, you're good. James, fuck off.
Yeah, James, you're still on the wait list. And by the way, mow your fucking lawn already, okay?
Right. Get the 5 cars off. Let's go. Actually, that's out here.
That is out here, yeah.
Right.
That's definitely out here.
Because 4 of those cars have rusted into piles in the yard in Montana.
Doesn't Beardy look like he belongs in Montana, actually? We should send him there.
I lived in Minnesota for 5 years.
Right. And you kept your face and neck and torso warm.
Yeah, I brought that with me. It did work like a nice scarf in the wintertime. In Minnesota, I would just kind of wrap it around my neck.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You're cheap, so that works. You didn't have to buy an actual scarf.
I grew it myself.
Right.
I'm going to save me $5.
I prefer cashmere, but if you like pubes on the back of your neck...
Hey, have you ever tried a human hair scarf, JP? It's quite warm.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of clubs. Not going to go into it.
It's better when it's your own itch.
Right. Well, speaking of... been to a couple clubs before we have to go. Adam and Eve has their Valentine's special going on right now. You can go to adamandeve.com and get 50% off just about any item, plus a free romance kit, a free DVD, and free shipping. Just use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY at adamandeve.com. So you can make this Valentine's Day one that you'll both never forget. 50% off just about any item, free romance kit, free DVD, free shipping over at adamandeve.com. And that works in Philipsburg, too, by the way. The code works everywhere. So if anyone's feeling randy tonight or tomorrow night or Valentine's Day...
Share your modem. Let's go.
Go down to the library, place your order.
Check out the modem from the library and go to town.
In a town of 800, I bet Randy has a good time.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to him. Man.
Yeah, right.
I was
I just think of Randy from the Trailer Park Boys every single time. Let's get some cheeseburgers. Come on.
Well, we just have a couple things left to do, but Ben, I want to thank you so much for coming in from Philipsburg Brewing Company.
Yes, thank you.
And you can go to philipsburgbrew.com and check it out. They have a great website. You can look at their calendar of events. You can check out all the beers that they do. You can read about how they give back to the community. And you can find the beer near you if you're in Montana.
That's right. We're only in Montana, mostly western Montana.
Okay. But you do distribute around the western state. Okay. So go check it out at philipsburgbrew.com. And Ben, man, you don't have to leave, but I just wanted to thank you and say the beers were really nice. It was cool of you to bring them down for us.
It means a lot. As a home brewer, I've listened to you guys for a while, so it's kind of surreal to be here talking with you.
Oh, cool.
That's cool, you guys drinking my beer and liking my beer. So.
We like your beer very much.
Yeah.
That's good.
We don't
check
always.
Cleared, so
No, I honestly don't know the last time I drank anybody's beer that they brought in.
That's true.
And you can tell Bev's a little... She's hammered.
Right.
Yeah,
happy.
It'll get you that 8.5 in the 5 Phantoms.
I finished that one, by the way.
Yeah.
She gone.
You finished? Wow. Sam's getting a handy tonight.
I might have to Uber home, though. That's going to be expensive.
Sam will pay for it if he gets a handy at the end.
That's right. I'm pretty sure that can get paid for. One way or another. All right. What do we got to do? Finish our Twitter game?
Yeah.
What was our Twitter game tonight?
Name Tom Brady's very first homebrew. Because what does a loser do but turn to homebrewing? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. So, what did we get?
Well, we got some pretty good ones. Jesse Newcomer says it'd be a chocolate peanut butter porter called Butterfingers.
Oh,
we
did because we dropped
That's
that
more
pass.
for a receiver, though.
No,
Warren, don't comment unless you've seen the game, okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
he got sacked at the end and dropped the ball.
Well, no, he got thrown a pass.
Yeah,
the quarterback got thrown
It
a
hit
pass.
his hands. It was overthrown a
Wow.
little bit.
Yeah.
He was injured.
Your mom's injured.
He did get hurt really. Played before. Yeah.
Timothy Gibbs says call it overrated IPA.
Okay.
That might be a beer already.
Should be writing this down.
Don't bother that one.
Blobber Glop says call it hockey is so much better mild ale. Which is the most Canadian thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And would a hockey named beer be mild? I don't know.
I don't know. But Blobber's very mild.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ryan Turner says Bill Belichick pills.
That's pretty good.
Coach of the Patriots.
Yeah.
Keeps the light out by covering the carboy with a sleeveless old hoodie.
I don't understand that. Does he wear a sleeveless old hoodie?
Yeah, like Bill Belichick. He was the coach of the
Belichick did.
Patriots.
Yeah.
And like he's on the sidelines.
I like
with
that
a
one
fucking
actually.
Sleeveless hoodie.
Okay,
Like,
now
what are
I'm
you doing?
remembering that in my drunken stupor, and I remember thinking the same thing. Like, this guy's won how many fucking Super Bowls?
Right.
How many championships? And what's with this sleeveless old hoodie?
That's why soccer and hockey are both better sports, I think, mainly because the coaches wear suits.
Well,
except
right.
Jurgen Klopp, but most of the coaches wear suits.
Maybe that was his lucky hoodie.
That's what I was going to
That he
ask.
won
Like,
the first
if it's
Super Bowl
and
or
I'm
something.
superstitious, so if it's his lucky hoodie,
It's an athletic competition. Yeah, wear your athletic shit. Yeah,
Right.
your lucky hoodie. Sure, all that.
but even if it's his lucky hoodie, how did it end up sleeveless? I mean, that was a white trash decision.
And it's like surged, where it's like seamed. It has a seam on it. So
He probably bought it that way.
Yeah, they sell them. You know they sell them.
Oh my god,
They have to.
Well, as he left home, he looked at himself and go like,
Yeah,
this is it.
I'm
This is
looking
going to be
cool tonight.
great for 111
He owned it.
million people to watch me.
Yeah, million people watch you on television.
Yeah, Bill Belichick looks the same getting out of bed as he does on the sideline, which is a good
So,
look.
if we were naming Bill Belichick's first homebrew, it's Poor Decisions.
Apparently.
Okay.
POUR.
I need something to throw at Warren right now.
Well played, Warren.
Oh, it's been so long.
I'm fucking sick of you already.
Jared Connolly says an NEIPA, of course, made hazy by the tears of New England fans.
Oh, that's not bad.
So there you go.
That's pretty good.
Ben Northam said ESB, and we would call it just out of reach.
Oh, but wait, how does
That ball
That pass was
just
out of reach. He didn't drop the ball.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of the acronym ESB. It didn't really work.
No,
but,
it's just he
extra
called the
special
style.
bitter. I see.
Yeah, he just
okay.
called the style. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not writing it down.
JBC Brewing says Fumble Brewski. An open mouth fermented Gronk juice that's past its prime.
Wow, well, that one was thought out.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't have that je ne sais quoi. You know? Nothing catchy to it. It doesn't have a tune I can dance to.
But I do like the open mouth fermented. I think that was
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'll give
He
it
was
that.
listening.
And last but not least, Parker Wynn says they would call it a weird mouth kiss from Dad.
Just going rare barrel style, just calling it like it is.
Weird mouth kiss from Dad.
Yeah. Well, I got to write that
Did it say
one
a style or just a name?
Word mouth kiss.
And and then that picture that I showed you would be the label.
Oh,
supposedly. So there you go.
All right. Well, here's what I wrote down: Butterfingers.
Yeah.
Whatever the whole thing was.
Right.
That was it. Overrated something.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick pills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, that's a good one.
I would like to eliminate those three.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
My winner's still in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm out then.
What were you going for there?
The Belichick pills.
Throw it back in.
All right, I'll leave that in. Okay, and then it leaves sleeveless old hoodie. I really
Well,
like.
that's part of the Belichick.
Oh, that's
right.
it.
Yeah,
then that was. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I added on two lines.
That's how you cover the car.
Bill Belichick sleeve. Just take out the Bill. Just call it sleeveless old hoodie.
Okay.
I'm altering your submission for you. I'm helping you.
Wow. There you go, Ryan.
We're going to make some T-shirts.
Yeah, sleeveless old hoodie. New England IPA filled with their tears.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to get rid of that one.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So that's going to leave us basically with sleeveless old hoodie and weird mouth kiss. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm fine with those. My vote is a weird mouth kiss from Dad. That's my vote.
That's also your vote. That's Bevo's vote. Okay, Beardy, you were going to go sleeveless old hoodie.
I'll be alone.
So was I, but that actually, Ben could tie it up. If he were to vote for sleeveless old hoodie, he would put us in a difficult position. Although I have a plan for that.
Well, Bevo gets 2 votes.
What's the tiebreaker?
No, I only want 1.
Well, I will also say that if sleeveless old hoodie does win, this is classic Patriots winning by cheating and breaking the rules. So I'm just saying.
All right, Ben, what's your vote? Sleeveless old hoodie or weird mouth kiss from Dad?
As much. See, there you go. As much as I like sleeveless old hoodie, you've got to go with weird mouth kiss.
All right.
That's just,
okay.
There we go.
That's our winner.
Too much.
It's like a subtitle to this podcast today.
And I mean, there's documentation. There's already a label. It's so bad.
Creepy.
We're not sure how hoppy or malty it is.
It just has a kiss from Dad.
Just see that wrapped around a nice.
Point it towards the camera.
There's
this weird kiss from Dad.
Just hand draw that. And
so weird.
No specific IBUs or ABV. It's just a weird mouthfeel.
And this went on for like 8 seconds, guys. This is not just a quick peck.
No tongue.
I can't handle
it. Maybe Tom Brady was being like a CPR dummy for his kid.
That's actually what it is.
They've got to learn somehow.
That's it. That makes me feel better.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's what I'm going to do anyway. Because if it's okay with Ben, Philipsburg brought some swag for us. So we're going to give prizes away both to Weird Mouth Kiss and Sleeveless Old Hoodie tonight.
Yeah.
Nice.
But just know that Weird Mouth Kiss was number 1 because this isn't like Little League here where everybody gets a goddamn trophy. All right? So the trophy goes to Weird Mouth Kiss.
You're a loser.
Not everybody gets a kiss from Dad.
Yeah, that's right. But because
you got to earn it.
Because Philipsburg was so generous, we're going to send prizes to both of them. JP takes care of it and getting it to Bevo, and then something happens, and stuff arrives at your door.
Or please just email me.
There you go. Because what, JP never does, or?
Well, no, I mean, he can only get so much information. I need their address. I need their shirt size. I need information.
I'm basically just I tweet them and say that they won,
and you say email
Bev. Yeah, that way I'm out of it.
It sounds like a system. That sounds like a system.
It's a system.
It's almost like that's
a good way to remove yourself from the whole responsibility.
Taught you well, JP.
Thanks.
Well done. Yeah. Or you taught me, I don't know what.
I don't know. I'll teach you something.
Somehow I still failed.
Yeah. Bev, too.
That's how it goes until somebody offers you another job, and then you're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Don't leave us.
Please,
I love you so much. You're the best.
Do not make me come at your door in the middle of the night begging, please. No, Sam's just laughing inside.
I love your crock pot meals.
Yeah, Justin's out there begging again.
Shut up. You're the reason I don't cook anymore.
Oh, see? I didn't do that. They did that. I will fire them before I fire you, Bebo.
Well, obviously.
That and Taco Bell is why you don't cook anymore.
Taco Bell's delicious.
All right, next week on the program, it's the start of SF Beer Week for one, and we've got Modern Times Brewing Company coming on the program. They're a really good brewery.
Lucky to have them.
Very good.
I'm excited about that. So we're talking to Modern Times, and then lots of events happening right here at the Hop Grenade. Yeah. You can go to thehopgrenade.com and check it out. We've got a full week of events going on, actually, some really good ones, including our hazy versus clear competition at the end of the week, where you can be the judge. You come in, you try a flight of beers, you cast your vote. It's a people's choice. It's as blind as we can get it.
You got the cups like the philosophy guys use. You can't see what color the beer is.
Well, we do, but you can kind of you can see whether it's clear or not. So we're doing our best. How about blindfolded? But that wouldn't work. There's too many people.
Can I cast my vote now?
So you may not. In fact, I would love to catch you in this. Maybe we can get a handful of people like Beardy and Dickwad. That was you, JP.
Oh, shit. I was like, Ben's not going to be here. So I don't understand.
I can come back.
Nice wad, bro.
Blindfolded as it's. Anyhow, come on out on Friday for that.
Easy. I won't be here, but easy.
Plus, we got a bunch of other things to do. But next week, right here on the program, Modern Times. All right. I think I have completed my my duties.
Your due diligence.
Yeah. All right, Ben.
Duty.
Thanks again, brother. Yeah, I'm really
My
glad
pleasure.
you came out.
Really, really excited to be here.
And thanks to Philipsburg for sharing Ben with us for the show and letting him send all the beer. And we wish you guys luck.
Literally all the beer.
Well, we've got a lot more beer back there. We've
got some to take home.
So come out to the tap room. Try our other beers.
Listeners,
we got
do
an
that.
oatmeal milk stout on Nitro right now.
Oh,
it's drinking really well.
I want that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
And a couple other things. Dunkelweizen we just brought out.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
there's
will
always
go
something new up there.
in disguise, though.
Put your hair up in your hat.
Yeah. Bun.
Don't show the bun.
Marks. Stupid thing. But listeners, if you're passenger, if you're going skiing, go check them out. We were not blowing smoke. The beer is really stellar.
Yeah. I will go there for my job interview.
You will absolutely not.
Wow! Don't call for references.
Oh God, I will sabotage the shit out of you.
Oh, I had other jobs before you, bro.
I'll be like, I will call all of them. Embezzlement, whatever I can make up. I don't know.
Yeah. No, Ben was good, but the sneaky kid at work at school.
Yeah. I will make up the most awful things. I will be calling JP to help me make up the most awful things because clearly he's better at it.
Yeah. I work with her and enclosed. In here, she's in another room.
Remember the dumpy diaper kid?
Right.
I mean, somehow Bevo never.
You ever go to school with the kid who picked his nose so much that his nose bled?
Everyone just knows not to hang out with the one kid.
Yeah. The person who always microwaves fish.
I actually worked with that guy.
Yeah.
True story.
You know that team building exercise where you fall back? Never count on Bevo.
I do not have upper body strength. You will actually fall.
We have had more cracked heads at the Brewing Network than we can count.
My God.
All right, let's get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Philipsburg Brewing Company. And thanks to Ben for being here.
Yeah, man.
JP, take us out of here.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Ben from Philipsburg Brewing came out from Montana specifically for this show, and we thank him for that. Check out his beers over at philipsburgbrew.com. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info, and follow Nate Smith and Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD, Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy, and the great Beverly crushing cyberspace at Bevo1. JP fully understands that Twitter is dead, and you should follow him on Instagram at Major Jip. JP will also be at Flat Tail Brewing on Friday, this coming Friday, in Corvallis, Oregon, blending a sour beer with the Charlie Brown of the beer world, Mr. Dave Malala. Come by and nod your head at a distance from me, and I'll be there at 11 a.m. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Justin's a nice guy when